road ahead where Pakistan could achieve and attain political stability, which has eluded us since at least April 2022. And I think that once the Prime Minister, which is most likely to be PML-N's candidate, Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, who even recently had a stint as Prime Minister in the previous PDM government, once we have that, there would be the kind of legitimacy that the PML-N has been seeking for a long time for their governance. And I hope that this upcoming government and the Prime Minister, they are able to successfully complete the tenure, because these are essential for Pakistan to, put itself on a path of day.
Right, Munib Kadir, we're also talking about the day being very momentous, the day being very important, but we see that the convening of the National Assembly session itself was victim of a lot of speculation. We saw that the president was hesitant to give his assent, and we also saw that in the last hour he had a change of heart, and in fact he did give his assent to the convening of the session. Then we saw a lot of speeches made by the opposition benches regarding the elections for Speaker and Deputy Speaker. But nonetheless, the elections for the Speaker and Deputy Speaker were held, and now we're moving towards the elections for the country's Prime Minister. Do you
Yes.
think that the beauty of democracy is sitting and accepting the results, whatever they may be, because it's a democratic process, and the opposition, they have taken part in that process as well, so they should focus on their performance rather than alleging and becoming
Yes.
part of the process in its true sense?
Interestingly, PTI-backed candidates are very much acting on the instructions of PTI, even though they were not able to contest the election under their symbol. And unfortunately, what I've been seeing emanating from them is completely unparliamentary behavior. I just, for example, even speaking of Punjab Assembly, saw this video that Mariam Nawaz Sharif, who is now Chief Minister of Punjab, went to the opposition leader in the assembly and she said that my doors are always open to you. Now, unfortunately, this kind of olive branch which was extended by Mariam Nawaz seemed to have been reciprocated by the other side. And unfortunately, PTI has a habit of not engaging with their political opponents. I think they can play a very important role, for providing a buffer within the current power dynamics in the national provincial assemblies. But somehow they just seem unwilling to go ahead with that parliamentary behavior that is needed from the opposition. Let's hope that they are going to show signs of political maturity in the coming days. But up till now, I think what has been going on is, these antics, wearing face masks of the founder of PTI party and raising slogans in parliament, that is unbecoming of parliamentarians. What they should now focus after the prime minister is chosen, after he's elected, they should now focus on bringing legislation onto the table, the kind of legislation that is needed to provide relief to people who, like I've said, have been waiting with bated breath to find solution to the political and the economic and the social ills of the society, of the problems that the country has been facing, and they just get on with their job. The opposition has a very important role to play. Now, if only they are willing and able to assume that role, which comes with a lot of responsibility. So, again, hoping against hope, I'm counting on things getting better and more certain after today.
Hmm. Right, Munib, just like you mentioned, buffer zone. Do you think the PTI is in, and the Sunni Ittihad Council at the moment is in a more important place to provide a buffer zone, or is the JUI-F holding that crucial position? Because we see that the Treasury bench is going towards him for reconciliation to address his grievances, reservations, and we see the same from the Sunni Ittihad Council. Their delegations are also addressing his problems. It must be a matter of votes. But even then, we see the JUI-F holding a very crucial position at the moment.
Of course they are. Of course they are, because there's a reason why we get to hear that they are going to align themselves with the PTI and Sunni Ittihad Council, and then we hear no, it's actually PML-N leadership which are in talks with JUI-F. So support the JUI-F could lend to both, those on the treasury benches and those who are in the majority in the National Assembly. They all are counting on JUIF's cooperation. But like I said, just given the numbers in which PTI-backed independent candidates who are now forming an alliance with Sunni Ittihad Council have secured in the National Assembly, that does give them a lot of, I think, weight in the kind of uh, shape that they could, give and the direction they could give to parliamentary politics. I'm just saying that unfortunately, we are not seeing their behavior being conducive to the kind of role and the responsibilities that their role requires. I hope that that should change today, and I hope that they get over all these allegations of rigging because, frankly speaking, it's very lazy. That wherever PTI independent candidates had won, those constituencies they say have produced fair results, and constituencies where they did not win, they are alleging that rigging had taken place. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You just have to get on with the job and you have to get on with the parliamentary and democratic process rather than derailing it. So I'm hoping that from today onwards, at least, there should be a turning of the tide in the way that politics has played out in the last more than 1 year or so.
Right. Thank you, Munibo. It was great having your insights. Of course, PTI and the Sunni Ittihad Council needs to have a change of heart and a change of ways as well, and they should act more maturely and act more responsibly towards the democratic process and the furthering and strengthening of this democratic process. And of course, we see a lot of political dynamics being unfolded as the Parliament, as the lower house of Parliament gets very busy. And of course, we have now just been updated that Nawaz Sharif, and we can also see on the screens that Nawaz Sharif has entered the lower house of Parliament, and he is meeting and greeting with all the other members. We'll keep talking about today's Prime Minister's elections, but we have been joined by Shabir Ahmed Wagra as well. We'd like to take him on board as well and ask him, considering the situation in the Parliament that is unfolding, and all the members that are present in the Parliament and the Prime Minister's elections that are going to take place. Of course, from the coalition, we see Shehbaz Sharif as the nominee for the Prime Minister's slot. He will be vying for the post of Prime Minister for the second time after a short stint in the PDM government. But we see a lot of projects that were and a lot of initiatives that were taken by him. From the other side, we see Umar Ayub, and he's backed by the Sunni Ittihad Council. We can see on our screens at the moment that Nawaz Sharif, sitting along with the nominee for the Prime Minister's slot, Shehbaz Sharif, is also present in the National Assembly now. And Shabir, what would you say? A momentous occasion for the democratic process in the country. We've seen a lot of speculation. We've seen a lot of controversy regarding the convening of the National Assembly as well. But in the last hour, we saw that in the end, democracy prevailed. What's your comment on that?
Yes, Rafe, you rightly pointed out that there was a lot of question marks initially about the elections. When elections were announced by Election Commission of Pakistan, there was a lot of analysts and experts who were talking about and the holding of elections. Those went well. After that, there was election observers, international observers, and then different groups who hold public opinion surveys. They categorically stated that Pakistan's election took place in a peaceful manner, not only but also credible. And a latest survey which was released yesterday that also has established that Pakistan's election took place like a lot of Pakistanis feel that they were credible and they were free and fair. So that set apart. When the new National Assembly session was called the inaugural session on 29th of February, there was a lot of ruckus we have seen from the Sunni Ittihad Council members in the National Assembly, but ultimately they took oath, and after that the Speaker and Deputy Speaker election took place, and which was we have witnessed again there was disturbance caused by these SIC members, but the election smoothly went through, and a coalition candidate for the Speaker and Deputy Speaker won with a clear majority, not the simple majority. In the House, 169 is the simple majority, but they got over 190 votes in both speaker and deputy speaker elections, more than 190 votes. So which clearly indicate what will happen today as well, because that coalition of 6 parties, they enjoy the clear majority in the
Right,
House.
Shabir, unfortunately, we'll have to pause here as the National Assembly session is underway, and we'll like to show our viewers that as well, because we will be giving our analysis and insights, because this is a very momentous occasion that needs to be telecast.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله يأمركم أن تؤدوا الأمانات إلى أهلها وإذا حكمتم بين الناس أن تحكموا بالعدل إن الله نعم ما يعظكم به إن الله كان سميعا بصيرا يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم فإن تنازعتم في شيء فردوه إلى الله والرسول إن كنتم تؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر ذلك خير وأحسن تأويلا صدق الله العظيم. ان آیات کریمہ کا ترجمہ: مسلمانوں، یقیناً اللہ تمہیں حکم دیتا ہے کہ تم امانتیں ان کے حقداروں تک پہنچاؤ، اور جب لوگوں کے درمیان فیصلہ کرو تو انصاف کے ساتھ فیصلہ کرو۔ یقین جانو اللہ تم کو جس بات کی نصیحت کرتا ہے وہ بہت اچھی ہوتی ہے۔ بے شک اللہ ہر بات کو سنتا اور ہر چیز کو دیکھتا ہے۔ اے ایمان والو، اللہ کی اطاعت کرو اور اس کے رسول صلی اللہ علیہ وآلہ وسلم کی بھی اطاعت کرو، اور تم میں سے جو لوگ صاحب اختیار ہوں ان کی بھی۔ پھر اگر تمہارے درمیان کسی چیز میں اختلاف ہو جائے تو اگر واقعی تم اللہ اور یوم آخرت پر ایمان رکھتے ہو تو اسے اللہ اور رسول صلی اللہ علیہ وآلہ وسلم کے حوالے کر دو، یہی طریقہ بہترین ہے اور اس کا انجام بھی سب سے بہتر ہے۔ وما علینا الا البلاغ۔ حدیث نبوی صلی اللہ علیہ وآلہ وسلم۔ عن ابی موسیٰ العشری رضی اللہ تعالی عنہ قال قلت یا رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم ای المسلمین افضل؟ قال من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ویده او کما قال علیہ الصلاۃ والسلام متفق علیہ۔ حضرت ابو موسیٰ اشعری رضی اللہ تعالی عنہ سے روایت ہے کہ میں نے عرض کیا یا رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وآلہ وسلم، مسلمانوں میں سے کون افضل ہے؟ آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وآلہ وسلم نے ارشاد فرمایا، جس کی زبان اور ہاتھ سے دوسرے مسلمان محفوظ رہیں۔ وآخر دعوانا ان الحمد للہ رب العالمین۔ میں نے اللہ سے سرکار کا در مانگا ہے، کوچے سرور کونین میں گھر مانگا ہے، کوچے سرور کونین میں گھر مانگا ہے۔ کاش ہر لمحہ حضوری کا شرف ہو حاصل، کاش ہر لمحہ حضوری کا شرف ہو حاصل، میں نے یہ اپنی دعاؤں میں اثر مانگا ہے، میں نے یہ اپنی دعاؤں میں اثر مانگا ہے، اور درگاہ حق میں دعا ایک یہ مانگی ہے ریاض، درگاہ حق میں دعا ایک یہ مانگی ہے ریاض، کہ موت سے پہلے مدینے کا سفر مانگا ہے، موت سے پہلے مدینے کا سفر مانگا ہے، میں نے اللہ سے سرکار کا در مانگا ہے۔
औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। मैं ऑनरेबल मेंबर्स से ये गुजारिश करूंगा, जब नेशनल एंथम हो तो पाकिस्तान का झंडा अगर उछाल लें तो बेहतर होगा। ये चीज़ें प्लीज़ ना उठाया करें। हम पाकिस्तान का नेशनल एंथम है। ऑनरेबल मेंबर एक तशरीफ लाए हैं जिन्होंने ओथ लेना है, वो तशरीफ रखते हैं यहाँ। जी जान। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम।
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। मैं जाम कमाल खान
सिद्ध के दिल से हल्फ उठाता हूँ
सिद्ध के दिल से हल्फ उठाता हूँ
कि मैं खुलूस नीयत से
कि मैं खुलूस नीयत से
पाकिस्तान का हामी और वफादार रहूँगा,
पाकिस्तान का हामी और वफादार रहूँगा,
कि बहैसियत रुकन कौमी असम्बली
कि बहैसियत रुकन कौमी असम्बली
मैं अपने फ़राइज़ मनसबी
मैं अपने
ईमानदारी,
मनसबी ईमानदारी,
अपनी इंतहाई सलाहियत
अपनी इंतहाई
और
सलाहियत
वफादारी के साथ इस्लामी जमहूरिया पाकिस्तान के आइन
इस्लामी जमहूरिया पाकिस्तान के आइन
और कानून
That was the National Assembly session underway. As we just saw, the session inaugurated with the recitation of the Holy Quran, followed by Naat and Hamd, and now the National Assembly and the National Assembly session just inaugurated with the national anthem. And we saw all the members of the lower house of parliament, the newly elected members. They stood in honor of the national anthem. And now we see that the members of the newly elected National Assembly, they are making their speeches, after which the elections for the Prime Minister will commence. And the process will be the process will proceed as the House will be divided by the members who will support their candidate, and followed by the speaker counting and announcing the winner for today's elections for the backed Shehbaz Sharif, who is vying for the post of Prime Minister for the second time after a short stint in the PDM government. On the other hand, we have Sunni Ittihad Council backed Umar Ayub Khan, who is also vying for the post of Prime Minister. Earlier, we saw in the elections of a Speaker and Deputy Speaker in the National Assembly, we saw Sardar Ayaz Sadiq leading with a huge margin. And we also saw PPP's Ghulam Mustafa Shah becoming the Deputy Speaker, leading with a very big margin as well. And we see that and now the National Assembly session is underway. Of course, it is a very momentous occasion in the country's history, as the elections for the post of Prime Minister will be held in today's session. The session will be presided over by the newly elected Speaker of the National Assembly, Sardar Ayaz Sadiq, and the Deputy Speaker, Ghulam Mustafa Shah from the Pakistan People's Party. And of course, this is a great moment for democratic process in the country and strengthening of the democratic principles, because both the opposition and the treasury benches are present in the House. Whatever the outcome of today's elections, it should be accepted by both the sides of the benches, because the country needs to set aside their differences at the moment and needs to move forward with the democratic process. And we see the session being presided by Sardar Ayaz Sadiq, and he is currently attending to the legislative matters of the National Assembly session. He can be seen speaking in the mic, and Sardar Ayaz Sadiq is presiding over the National Assembly session today, which will go through a very important and very crucial phase of holding the elections for the post of Prime Minister. The bells will ring for 5 minutes, and of course, this will be as a disclaimer for all the members of the lower house of parliament to come into the floor, and so that the voting process can commence. And of course, there's two main candidates, as said earlier as well: Shehbaz Sharif by the coalition partners, and Umar Ayub Khan from the Sunni Ittihad Council.
Of course, this is a National Assembly session which is underway right now. We're watching. This is a newly elected National Assembly session which has finally started. We have started seeing the commencing of this process. This is a momentous occasion, a great event, a history in the making for all the Pakistanis who are watching live. And of course, we'd be seeing the leader of the House shortly. And we are watching Sardar Ayaz Sadiq, who's chairing this session. PML-N President Shehbaz Sharif and Umar Ayub Khan from Sunni Ittihad Council are vying for this important slot of Prime Minister. And of course, as Rafi was also talking about the important democratic process that Pakistan is following, this is an important day for Pakistan. PML-N President Shehbaz Sharif and Umar Ayub Khan from Sunni Ittihad Council are vying for this slot. The voting will take place through the division method. Session will be chaired by is rather chaired by National Assembly Speaker Sardar Ayaz Sadiq. And ahead of the elections today, bells are going to ring in the National Assembly for 5 minutes. And its purpose is to gather all the members into the assembly. And after 5 minutes, all the doors are going to be closed and locked, and no one will be allowed to come inside or leave before the elections of the leader of the House. Now, to talk more about this, we've been joined by Shabir Ahmed Bagra, our correspondent from PTV World, and he was.
And conduct of business in the National Assembly 2007. The election will be by division. Before voting commences, I will direct that the bells be rung for 5 minutes to enable the members not present in the chamber to be present. Immediately after the bells stop ringing, all the entrances to the lobbies shall be locked, and assembly staff posted at each entrance shall not allow any entry or exit through those entrances until the voting has been concluded. Before commencement of the poll, I will read out to the assembly the names of the validly nominated candidates who have not withdrawn, in order in which the nomination paper received and proceeded to hold the polls. The members who wish to vote in favor of the candidate to pass in single file through the entrance where tellers shall be posted to record their votes. On reaching the desk of the tellers, each member shall in turn call out the division number allotted to him under the rules. The teller shall then mark off his number on the division list, simultaneously calling out the names of the members in order to ensure that his vote has been properly recorded. The member shall not move off until he has clearly heard the teller's call out his name. After a member has recorded his vote, he shall not return to the chamber until the bells are rung. When all the members who wish to vote have recorded their votes, I will announce that the voting has concluded. Thereupon, the secretary shall cause the division list to be collected, count the recorded votes present and result of the count to me. I will then direct that the bells be rung for 2 minutes to enable the members to return to the chambers. After the bells stop ringing and the members are seated, the result will be announced. As there are two contesting candidates, therefore, according to Sub-Rule 4 of Rule 35, if a contesting candidate secures the votes of majority of the total membership of the National Assembly, the Speaker shall declare him to have been elected. If no contesting candidate secures such majority in the final poll, a second poll shall be held between the candidates, and the candidates who secure a majority of the votes of the members present and the voting shall be declared to have been elected. If the votes secured by two candidates is equal, further polls shall be held between them until one of them secures the majority of the votes. Now we start the process. Lobbies be cleared. Bells be rung for 5 minutes to enable the members not present in the chamber to be present.
Right, the process of this session has started. Finally, the Sardar Ayaz Sadiq, the chairperson, has announced the bell has started ringing in the National Assembly, which is going to be for 5 minutes. And the purpose of this is to gather all the members into the assembly. Right now, we have with us Shabir Ahmed Wagra, our correspondent from PTV World, who was there since the morning in the National Assembly, trying to gather information, trying to know more what's happening. We have him here in our studio. Yes, Shabir. Could you take us through the entire process of what actually went in the morning, what's going to happen, and what is the process of as we proceed in the day?
Yes, Maheen, you rightly pointed out that the process which just started with the ringing of bells and as announced by Speaker National Assembly Sardar Ayaz Sadiq, these bells will keep on ringing for 5 minutes, and the purpose of ringing these bells is to call all those members of National Assembly who are not in the National Assembly hall right now and sitting elsewhere in the Parliament building or in the lobbies or somewhere. They should enter the National Assembly hall. And once after 5 minutes, when the bells stop ringing, the doors will be closed and sealed by the sergeant on duty as stated by Speaker National Assembly. And after that, the Speaker would announce the two corners for the two contesting candidates. One candidate is the coalition candidate, that is former Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, and the other candidate is from Sunni Ittihad Council, SIC, that is Umar Ayub Khan. So the speaker has the prerogative to give them any corner. Those corners would be the right and left, and whosoever will be given the corner, speaker will announce that the members who want to support that particular candidate should go to that corner. Then the members will leave their seats and will gather in that corner, and the process of enrolling their vote will start, where there would be a register on that their particular number allotted to them as a member National Assembly that would be written against their name on each side of the corner. And once all the members will cast their vote, the last member will go. The members, after enrolling themselves, will leave the National Assembly hall and they will go to the lobby and sit there until unless all the members turn by turn mark their vote on the register of provided to each corner by the National Assembly Secretariat. After that, once every member present in the National Assembly hall that will cast their vote and they will go in the lobbies, speaker will inquire about the from their his staff that all the members present in the National Assembly hall has casted their vote. Once they will report to him, he will call all the members back in the National Assembly hall and the members can enter back in the National Assembly hall. After that, the speaker will gather the results from National Assembly Secretariat. The written results will be collected from them. They have written on the registers, and then after the compilation of the written results, that would be announced by the National Assembly Speaker Sardar Ayaz Sadiq. He will announce the winner with the votes by the each candidate, and then there would be the leader of the house will be chosen. And the next step would be the speaker will give after the announcement, most probably speaker will give floor to the leader of the house, and also ask the leader of the house to come on the first seat which is reserved for the leader of the house. And then most probably the leader of the house who will be as per we have seen previously in speaker and deputy speaker election, that is the coalition have won clearly. So most probably it will be former Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. He will address after the victory, if he will be elected the leader of the house, or whosoever will be elected the leader of the house, will address the his inaugural address to the members of the National Assembly. And after that, it is expected that one from the then there would be opposition because leader of the house has been elected. So most probably from their side, one would speak, and then speaker will adjourn the session, because this session is also important not only for the election of the leader of the house, which who will become ultimately the Prime Minister of Pakistan, but also this will complete the proceedings of the inaugural session of Parliament, which started with the oath taking of the members, then registering their name on the rolling dice for the member, and then Speaker and Deputy Speaker elections, and today Leader of the House election, and this will like complete the inaugural session of the 16th National Assembly of Pakistan.
We all are expecting and anticipating certain facts, and you already mentioned in the detailed process which you were describing about what's going to happen, how has it started. Tell us something about the portfolios, brief portfolios of the two candidates who are vying, and what is the anticipation in terms of the number game when it comes to the House?
Yes, if we talk about the number game, as much as the House is concerned, so it has been clearly like we have witnessed during the election of Speaker and Deputy Speaker that the coalition of six parties, including led by Pakistan Muslim League-Nawaz, then the major
Okay,
partner.
we'd have to cut you right now, Shabir, as the proceedings have started.
इस एंट्रेंस को भी लॉक कीजिए इधर की. In pursuance of Rule 35 of Rules of the Procedure and Conduct of Business in the National Assembly 2007, I will read out the names of the candidates who filed nomination papers for the election of the Prime Minister in order in which their nomination papers were received. Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif साहब के 8 nomination papers आए थे 2 मार्च 1:25 पे. उमर अयूब साहब के 4 nomination papers आए थे 2 मार्च को 1:35 पे. Valid nominated candidates are Mia Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif Sahab and Umar Ayub Khan Sahab. The honorable member who wish to vote in favor of Mia Shehbaz Sharif Sahab, they may proceed to the lobby on the right side designated as Lobby A for recording their vote. Lobby A is on the right side. यहाँ पे record करने के लिए members kindly तशरीफ ले जाना शुरू कर दें. The honorable members who wish to vote in favor of Mr. Umar Ayub Khan Sahab may proceed to the lobby on the left designated as Lobby B for recording of their votes. आप इस तरफ तशरीफ ले जाइए. जी please.
As the process is underway to elect the leader of the House, we were also talking to Shabir earlier, and 2 times we had to cut him because the National Assembly session proceedings, they just went underway. But Shabir, continuing from where we left our conversation, we're seeing the political dynamics changing, and we're currently seeing Mir Mohammad Nawaz Sharif on the floor of the House. But he won't be leading the government as an active member. What would you say about the political dynamics? The PML-N is going to be into power if Shehbaz Sharif wins these elections. But we also see a change here that Nawaz Sharif, who has been the 3 times Prime Minister of the government, won't be an active member of the government. What would you comment about that?
Yes, Rafi, he won't be the part of officially the part of the government, like he would not be leading, because the Prime Minister would be his younger brother, and second time he would be the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif. But it is also clearly evident from the statements given by different PML-N senior leaders that he would not be out of the government, or rather he would be as a qaid of this most senior most member, and as a qaid of PML-N, he would be not only overseeing the government at the center by his younger brother Shehbaz Sharif, but also he would oversee the government by his daughter Maryam Nawaz Sharif in Punjab, who is the Chief Minister of Punjab. So he would be not only guiding them, but also overseeing all their performance, and time and again his role would be very critical and very important to run this particular government in the challenges faced by the government, because this when I was in the morning, I was in the National Assembly and I talked to different members of PML-N, PPP, and MQM and other coalition partners, and they unanimously said one thing. Along with other all political narratives, they were saying that this government has not taken by them like easily, or this government is taken by the coalition, considering this won't be an easy process to take deal with the challenges faced by the country. If we talk about the challenges, they categorically stated the one and the main challenge is the economy, and to take Pakistan's economy, to steer it to from the trouble economy to a stable economy, that is one of the major goal of the upcoming government. And also then we have also listened from them, they categorically stated the recent rise in terrorism cases and militancy inside the country is another concern that would be dealt by the new government on the war footing. And then they also talk about the troubles faced by the masses, their voters, Pakistani people, about, by the inflation. They categorically stated that they are aware of this and they have all the intention to do whatever in their means to ease the troubles faced by the masses in Pakistan due to the rising inflation. And they categorically stated, all the coalition partners, whether they would be the part of the cabinet or not. Even when I was talking to PPP senior members, they said that they may not be the part of the cabinet in initial phase, but they will be part of the government. And despite of their absence from the cabinet, they categorically stated that they will guide the government in every aspect, especially with respect to the public and public problems. Whenever there would be any problem, they will highlight it with the Prime Minister, with the cabinet, and also with the coalition partners to deal with it effectively. So they would be part of the government, they may or may not be the part of the cabinet. So that has categorically assured that they are coming with their homework. So as you rightly pointed out, although Nawaz Sharif, three-time former prime minister and one of the person who has established himself to steer the country out of economic troubles, if we see his tenure from 2013 to 17, Pakistan was facing a lot of economic challenges, security challenges, and when he left as a prime minister, Pakistan was one of the stable economy, and also there was a lot of crises like electricity crisis, energy crisis, then through CPEC, different opportunities. He has created a lot of things. Similarly, if we talk about the upcoming Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, when he took over in April 2022 from the then government of PTI, the country was almost on the brink of default, and we also read different financial institution, Moody's. You talk about the financial institution, and they were rating down the country, and they were talking about that it is very hard for Pakistan to survive and clear the default, international default. Even different local economists, they were very particular that in such circumstances, and especially at that time, IMF and financial monetary institutions were very much upset with Pakistan due to its commitments, violation of the commitments by then PTI government. So now coalition government of PDM under Shehbaz Sharif from April 2022 till August 2023, these 16 months, they have not only taken Pakistan out of that default issue, they have taken Pakistan out of money laundering grey list. They have successfully negotiated $3 billion ad hoc arrangement with IMF. Then they have taken successfully negotiated money like help from Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and other Gulf countries. And then they have established SIFC that has played very significant role in negotiating different foreign investment in the country. And for that, they have not only established that body, but also aggressively that body has prepared different presentations, different opportunities, information related to Pakistan investment potential, and they have taken it to especially to the Gulf countries. And according to the caretaker information minister Murtaza Solanki, when we talked to him in last briefing, he said that a lot of agreements with different, especially Gulf countries, are not only prepared, rather have been finalized and are on hold just for the new government to come and sign and implement them. So this groundwork has been done. So we can hope that new government, not only they are prepared, but they have the experience of steering Pakistan out of economic troubles.
Right, Shabir, we'll also be talking about challenges, and of course, we'll be discussing the foreign affairs angle as well, as you cover the beat of foreign affairs. But before that, I'd like to ask, as you mentioned, that the leader of the House will make his speech, his maiden speech, on the floor of the House today. But in the past days, we've seen that there was a lot of sloganeering. There was a lot of chanting of a lot of slogans. There was a lot of hurling of allegations as well. Do we see that being possible today? That will the other side, whoever wins today with the other side, be able to let them make a speech on the floor of the House?
Yes, Rafe, definitely the opposition or the other side, they will definitely chant slogan, and they will try to make it sure that this maiden speech by the elected leader of the House would become difficult. But we should remember this thing that potentially and hopefully the leader of the House would be Shehbaz Sharif, who's a very senior parliamentarian. He remained 3-time Chief Minister of Punjab, and then second time he would be heading the government at center as a Prime Minister. So they knew how to deal with such challenges. They are experienced parliamentarians, and then from the PPP and PML-N and other coalition, they are all experienced parliamentarians, so they know how to handle the situation. And for their good luck, the Speaker of the National Assembly is Sardar Ayaz Sadek, who is also third time Speaker of National Assembly. So he also very able and knew that how to handle such situation in the hall of the National Assembly as a Speaker of the National Assembly. So we can hope that there would be recklessness, that there would be chanting of slogans, but Prime Minister will made leader of the House will made his maiden speech, because that is very important, because it is expected that during his maiden speech he would not only chalk out the issues and challenges faced by the country, also will give his initial vision to how the coalition government under his leadership would be like steering Pakistan out of those troubles, problems. And as we have witnessed during the provincial assembly elections, and the leader of the houses of the provincial assembly, they have given their initial agenda of how they will take out each and every department. So we expect that from the new leader of the House today as well, despite of whatever there would be recklessness or chanting of slogans.
Right, Shabir, we're talking about the ruckus being made by the opposition right now, but don't you think we'd be thinking about the bigger picture as well, as in how would this opposition play out in the future? As we know, the last time the parliamentary norms were not being followed. Do you think this time they're going to be following those norms?
Today, I was when I was standing in the lobby of the National Assembly, one of the international media reporter, she was interviewing Barrister Gaur Ejaz, one of the main leader, central leader of Sunni Tahad Council, that your party has announced that they will not allow this house to work. So what is this type of democracy you are promoting? So he categorically stated that this is not what we are asking. We will participate in the legislative business in the House. We will participate in the, because he was also saying that we expect to lose this election, but we will be very active and very proactive and strong, credible opposition. And we will not derail the process, but we will play our role wherever the government will require our assistance. We will provide that assistance, but we will keep a check and balance on the government. If this statement stated by one of the senior most member of the Sunni Tahad Council is he will be acting on this particular sentiment or comment in letter and spirit to his party, then that would be the best for the democracy in Pakistan, because strong opposition is one of the essential element of a good governance,
Mm.
because government at times government takes steps which are not which are hard steps for the public. So opposition make it sure that they create such atmosphere that put pressure on the government to withdraw such decisions or take decisions in a manner that they will benefit the public, and public has to face least of the hardness due to those decisions by the government.
Right, winning and losing, it's part of the democratic process, but we hope that sanity prevails in the parliament today. Shabir will also talk about the challenges, considering the regional challenges, the global challenges that whoever comes up in the government, they get to face and they will need to address. When we talk about regional challenges, we see there's a lot of friction even with some neighboring countries. We see there's an ongoing conflict in Central Asia. Apart from that, we see the Israel-Gaza war that is taking place. I wouldn't call it a war, I'd call it Israel's genocide of the Palestinians. But we see there's a lot of friction going on in the world at the moment, and Pakistan holds a very crucial position. How do you think whatever government comes into place, whoever gets elected, the leader of the House today, they would have to deal with these issues?
Yes, when the new leader of the House will come, and he will then take oath as the Prime Minister of Pakistan, which is expected tomorrow on Monday, the new beginning will start with the new week in Pakistan. And it is expected that Pakistan's stance on especially whatever genocide and aggression and atrocities Israel is committing in Gaza, that will remain the same, because Pakistan has consistently took a position on this issue from last 70 more than 70 in support of the Palestinian people and their right to self-determination under UN resolutions. And then after this particular start of aggression by Israel after October 7, Pakistani government, caretaker government, and Pakistani security institutions, they have kept their stance very stable and very consistent, which was evident from the performance of our statements by our foreign office as well. So we expect that this will continue, because this is not the stance which can be changed or which will be changed, or which will be have any little slight change even under any government in Pakistan. But
Right.
yes, challenges at the foreign affair front would be very strong, especially, but few advantages. If Shehbaz Sharif will become the Prime Minister of Pakistan, there are few advantages he will carry with him, because during his last hard but very successful 16 months, he has not only taken very effective bilateral diplomacy with different countries, friendly countries like China, like Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and other Gulf countries, but also at the multilateral forums. We have seen that effective diplomacy by his short government was appreciated. And then with the international monetary institutions, Pakistan economy is one of the big challenge, and Pakistan is very much dependent right now on the different programs from international monetary institutions, including IMF, World Bank, then Asian Development Bank, and other institutions, because IMF deal trickle down with all other financial institutions. But he has not only improved the repo of Pakistan as a country, or credibility of Pakistan as a country with IMF during by securing $3 billion ad hoc arrangement, but also by standing with the commitments despite of its political fallouts. He has established his credibility as a leader of the House, leader of the Pakistan nation, and Pakistan's credibility, he has revived that, which was hampered during the tenure of PTI government. So this definitely show that once he will be in the position, he will have a positive response from these institutions, because they feel at ease with them, which is evident from the one major indicator, that is Pakistan Stock Exchange. When his candidacy was announced, till then, due to the political instability or political unclarity, there was stock exchange was going down in leap, like it was going down like anything. But once he was announced as the coalition candidate for the prime minister, and the coalition has announced their intention to make government, the stock exchange bounced back, and not only bounced back but continuously bouncing back with a very positive response from the investors. This shows that Prime Minister, potentially Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and this coalition has a very good standing in front of the investors, as well as international monetary institutions and bilateral countries which are helping Pakistan.
I was also going to mention the same. When we saw the last standby arrangement done with the IMF, it was Shehbaz Sharif who was praised because he met with the MD IMF, Kristalina Georgieva himself, and he pursued the case himself and pleaded why Pakistan should be given and this standby arrangement should be made. But on the other hand, in the past few days, we've seen letters being written to the IMF. These are two different. These are two very different dynamics. What would you comment about that? There's one side. There's obviously pleading Pakistan's case in front of the international organizations, and there's the other side that's asking those international organizations to put a pause on the arrangements until Pakistan's domestic issues get resolved.
Yes, Rafe, that is indeed an issue of concern for not only the government but also whole of Pakistan, because that arrangement with IMF or potential upcoming arrangement, because new government has is mulling to have another $6 to $8 billion arrangement, which is needed for the stability of foreign reserves and Pakistan's economy. So any act, such act where you create a hindrance for this, is not you are creating hindrance for any government, but it is you are creating troubles for the government, like Pakistan and people of Pakistan, because when there would be a pressure on Pakistan's foreign reserve, that will definitely create a situation where Pakistan's public will face the brunt of the situation. There would be inflation, there would be less opportunities, and those will definitely in the end trickle down to the public. So it is not only their political move which bounced back, because we have, after that particular letter issue, we have seen a lot of pro PTI analysts and experts. They spoke against it, and they categorically stated that they have done something which is against the country, not against a government or any government, because this program is for the country, not for the government. Or whatever they are doing, that they should have done within the boundaries of political boundaries, not such act which has a fallout on the Pakistan as a country and also Pakistani people. So for that reason, definitely that particular move have bounced back. Even when I was in the National Assembly lobby today, when Barrister was talking, one of the reporters, they asked about that particular letter. So he defended in a very low voice and low morale. I was witnessing that. He said that these are the common practices, different countries write to IMF, so this is not a big thing. We have not asked them to stop Pakistan's program. This is a regular thing for different countries, experts to write these such letters. But he was not very speaking with the conviction which usually they used to speak.
Right. Shabir, we also saw an agreement signed by PML-N and MQMP, of course, regarding the governance of the grassroots level. And there might be a probability that they might be needing, the support of other parties as well. So do you think that is going to be supported by the other parties, especially regarding the opposition, as you were talking right now about how do you felt in the National Assembly today?
Yes, you rightly pointed out about that particular constitutional amendment agreement, which is signed by PML-N senior leaders and MQM, their coalition partners, senior leader. That is one of the core demand of MQM for consistently for many years, to to have effective local government system in the country. And if we see that when PTI was in the government and later on as well, they also given this promise in their manifesto that they would strengthen the local government system, because delivering at grassroots level and resolving problems of at the grassroots level is not the work of National Assembly members or provincial assembly members. Rather, they are the legislators. So this is the work of local government and local government members. So for that reason, we can ask that if they stand with their own principle, they should support this particular move if whenever this will be taken forward in the National Assembly by the coalition partners. But political parties in their statements and political parties in their actions sometimes differ, and which we have seen in this particular session as well. They were saying that we are not here to create recklessness, but we are witnessing even in the election of leader of the house as well. Initially they chanted slogans and gathered in front of the speaker's dais. So that has to be seen, but if without their support, it would be difficult to carry forward constitutional amendment. Yes, if there would be changes in law, that the coalition could easily manage, because the coalition would have a clear majority in the National Assembly, because as much as a National Assembly member strength is concerned, I just have a party position which was officially sent by the National Assembly of Pakistan. The parties with the coalition expected government, that is they have strength of 209 members, and out of which 108 are from PML-N. PPP has 68, MQM 22, and then Pakistan Muslim League 4, and Istekame Pakistan Party 4, and then one each from PML, ZIA, Balochistan Awami Party, and National Party. And if we talk about potential opposition members, that there will be Sunni Tahad Council, that is 91, and Jamaat-e-Ulama Islam Pakistan Fazlur Rahman group, that would be having 8 members, Balochistan National Party 1, and then Majlis-e Wahdat al-Muslimin 1, and Pakhtunkhwa Milli Awami Party, that would be they would form 102 members in the National Assembly. So as much as this strength is concerned, definitely for the law legislative business concerning law, coalition clearly have a majority, not only in the National Assembly but in the Senate as well. So they would be easily able to change the law. But when there would be requirement of a constitutional amendment which required 2/3 majority, then so far they are, because for 2/3 majority the number is 221. For that, almost coalition is lacking 11 or 12 members. But you never know, this is political negotiations will take place. And as you know, the members of Jamaat-e-Ulama Islam Pakistan, Fazlur Rahman, because he remained their coalition partner in PDM government, so his 8 members are very important as well. Right. So they can negotiate something with them, because he is sitting in the opposition, but he is not allowing or he making any alliance with the Sunni Ittihad Council. So he would be independent. That party would be independent opposition. So they can form such negotiation, and they can make them agree on supporting such a situation. So they may reach 2/3 majority as well, because there are still few National Assembly seats which are withheld by Election Commission of Pakistan on certain constitutional or decision making is pending in front of the Election Commission of Pakistan.
Right, Shabir, just for the sake of the conversation, just like Maheen mentioned, Article 148, that the arrangement has been signed by the PML-N and the MQM regarding the local governance system. The PPP and MQM, as we have known in the past, they've had differences considering their provincial power dynamics. We see that the PPP has a larger control of Sindh, urban and rural, and the MQM focuses on Karachi mostly. And we've seen there's friction going on between them. And even as the MQM has said, they would not be supporting PPP's presidential candidate. But we see that the PMLN and MQM has signed an agreement regarding the local governance structure. Of course, this is a great step in improving the governance system in the country. But at the same time, we see that this is going to have a conflict arising between the PPP and MQM as they are part of a coalition, but they are not going to be sitting down with each other, as there's too much of friction between them that has been going on in the past. And just like you mentioned as well, that there's going to be needed a two-third majority to pass a constitutional amendment. We fingers crossed, and time will tell, because this is going to be the PPP who is going to be changing their ways and their attitudes towards the MQMs and considering the local government structure, and how the governance structure in the provincial level and at the center would be improved by empowering the local governance systems. But we've seen in the past as well, there were slogans and there were manifestos raised in there and promises made to the masses that the local government structure would be strengthened, but it wasn't given its due honor after those governments they came into power and they made their cabinets. Considering all this, I think it will only unfold with time if the PPP is going to honor the PMLN's agreement with the MQM, and they would be vying for a constitutional amendment. But it is a very good initiative done in the right way indeed. But this all depends on the PPP now, whether they would be becoming a part of such a great initiative in empowering the local government system, or will they continue with their clashes with the MQM that they've had in the past relating to the province. But with that, we see some very good traditions being set. If considering the Article 140A amendment, if the PPP sits down with the MQM and is ready to support this initiative, I think it's a very good step in the right direction for strengthening of democracy. In the same way, I see that the Sunni Ittihad Council members, if they decide to talk to the parliament, and if they decide to strengthen the parliament and parliamentary norms, rather than going out to the masses, rather than starting their media trials or going to the courts and burdening with the parliamentary issues, I think it's going to be a step in the right direction. We also heard Mahmood Khan Ashikzai earlier making his speech in the parliament, and he talked about shunning traditional politics and all the major political parties of the country coming together on one table, sitting and coordinating and cooperating with each other for the strengthening of democracy. How important do you think this factor is at the moment for the country to run and for the parliamentary process to proceed, for all the parties to sit together, set aside their differences, and talk about a national government, or even if it's not a national government, talk about putting the country on the right path and strengthening democracy, which is vital for the country to progress?
Rafi, that is also indeed a clear concern, that whether this agreement will be implemented, or the government will succeed in implementing under PML-N or not. Because you rightly pointed out that the issue between MQM and PPP, especially at the provincial level, is in front of everybody, because in province, PPP is in the government and MQM is in the opposition. And then again, they have a clear difference time and again on this particular issue of local government system in the province. But that local government system issue is such an issue which no government, no political party has categorically rejected, that they don't want amendments or betterment of local government system. But they have their own reservations with one and other. They would be the coalition partner in the center, and their major coalition partner, which is also leading the government, PML-N, if they will let them sit together, and because politics is all about negotiations and talks. So if they will sit together and they will talk and they will manage to bring something like a consensus, on the issues, some middle point where both can support. So that is also very much possible. But you rightly pointed out that we cannot say that this would be a smooth sailing, especially considering that there would be that particular amendment is the demand of MQM, and PPP has a lot of reservations, but definitely they have a lot of scope to sit together and discuss on it.
Right, and Shabir, if we come to today's prime ministerial elections, whoever wins, we're seeing from the deputy speaker and speaker's elections, we're seeing that the coalition partners, they have a bigger majority. They've obviously led with a big margin in these elections for the speaker and deputy speaker. How do you see the government and the cabinet being formed after today's elections if Shehbaz Sharif comes into power? Will we see cabinet sharing with the MQM? Of course, the PPP has said that they will not at the moment be vying for cabinet positions. Maybe in the future they will become a active part of the government. But what do we see MQM's position in the cabinet currently if Shehbaz Sharif becomes leader of the House?
If Shehbaz Sharif becomes the leader of the House and later he will take oath tomorrow as Prime Minister of Pakistan, so first and foremost priority would be forming a federal cabinet, and it is expected that they will form the cabinet within this week, starting tomorrow, and before the end of this week there would be first phase of cabinet would be complete. And it is also, we have listened from different PML-N sources that maybe the first cabinet would not have much from the those coalition partners, but majorly that would be from PML-N. The ministry would be given. I've been talking to different PML-N members, and they were of the view that maybe it would be 20 or 25 members cabinet. Majority of them would be from, and in the second phase the coalition partners will join the cabinet. Maybe in the first phase one or two ministries goes to the coalition, but majority would be from PML-N. And once the first phase will complete, the government start functioning, then soon after the second phase of cabinet will be completed within this month, where major share would be as per the division or agreement which have been discussed during the coalition talks took place before the inaugural session, and they will be given to different parties. According to our information, maybe two ministries to MQM and one ministry each to Istihkam party, and also the other smaller parties, one ministry to them. But so far it is clear, even today when I talk to different PPPV members, they are determined and they are very clear that they are not joining federal cabinet for the time being, and they are just supporting the coalition government for the strengthening economy and also taking forward the country from this political impasse.
Right, Shabir, but considering that the PML-N will be taking the most of the burden and facing the brunt of the challenges, do you think the other parties will just be benefiting from the PML-N's efforts in the cabinet, and how the PML-N will be sacrificing their political vote bank to address these difficult challenges, and the other parties will just be a part of the power sharing formula, whereas the PML-N will be doing all the hard work?
Yes, Rafe, that is a big challenge for PML-N. But this time the situation is different than their previous tenure of former Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of 16 months, because that was a shorter tenure, and they only took decisions which were hampering their political gains, but bringing stability to the country. But otherwise, this time situation would be different in a way that they came potentially for 5 years, and they have all the time. If they take a hard decision, they have all the time to reverse them by making such decisions once the economy is on stable side, making decisions which benefit the public. So if they will bear the blow of those decisions initially taken to take country's economy out of trouble, they have the time to benefit from the benefits they will give to, they will be able to give to their voters. So whatever there would be, that would be on the PML-N. Either they will benefit from it or they will get disadvantage. That would be to them. No coalition partner will take the burden of those decisions. Although they are supporting the government, they may come to the ministries as well, but possibly the blow of whatever the decisions government will take will go to the either benefit disadvantage of party, the PML-N, or later if there are decisions that will benefit them, that will also benefit PML-N. So PML-N also very much aware of this challenge, because and this is very much evident that every political party goes to the election with this aim to become the prime minister.
Yes.
So if they are becoming the prime minister, they knew the challenges, and they may have done their homework to deal with these challenges.
Right, of course, Shabir, just like we're talking that every political party comes with the goal to become the prime minister, to have their candidate for the prime minister. We saw PPP's chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari also vying for the prime ministerial post, but we saw that they couldn't get as much seats as they were hoping for. But even though they still managed to get 2 provinces, we saw that the Balochistan chief minister, newly elected chief minister, Mir Sarfaraz Bukti, hails from the PPP now. And we see that the PPP has now come into effect in Balochistan province, which is unprecedented. What good changes do you think this will bring for Balochistan, and what impact do you think this is going to have for PPP's politics, as it is now not only limited to Sindh province, but is also expanded to Balochistan, and the people have given their mandate to PPP for Balochistan province as well?
Yes, after so many governments, this time Balochistan has taken a clear position with siding with the major political parties. If we see the strength of the Balochistan Assembly, PML-N, PML-N and also People's Party have the majority. Both are the majority parties. Rather, PML-N has a single largest party, but they have given this government a coalition government to PPP to strengthen their coalition at the center. But definitely, this would be a clearly good sign for the province of Balochistan, because they would be having a government which has a clear strength. Because if we have gather the like members of both the parties, they are more than 30, and in the assembly of 60 or 66, that is a good number. Then their other coalition partners, they would become a very good government with a good standing in the assembly. So if they deliver, they will have a long time benefit in the province and also the people in the province.
All right, Shabir. We're talking about the political dynamics that are unfolding in the country. We see a lot of differences that were unprecedented and nobody could even think of at the moment. We also see the JUI-F talking about not being a part of the coalition. They're talking about going to the opposition benches and sitting with the opposition benches. We all know that the JUI-F has a lot of, we see that they have a lot of street power when it comes to protests, or they can prove as a very strong opposition. Do you think the JUI-F is going to be handling and tackling JUI-F in the opposition is going to be a big challenge, especially when they get along with the Sunni Ittihad Council?
As much as current situation is concerned, you rightly pointed out that this is going to be a big challenge for the government to deal with two parties in the opposition. Although JUI Pakistan has only 8 members, but their street power, due to their massive network of religious schools, is evident before everybody. So if they remain there, along with another party which has very young members and also young parliamentarians, so it would be a challenge for the government. But you never know what will come out in the future, because one thing is also evident, that PML-N and JUI Pakistan remained cool partners, and they have soft corner for each other for quite a long time. Especially Maulana Fazlur Rahman and Nawaz Sharif, PML-N Supremo, they both have a very good rapport, which is even after the elections when Maulana was speaking out loudly against uh, like alleged rigging and all those things, but he praised the leadership of Nawaz Sharif, and he said that he is very close feeling and close corner in his heart for Nawaz Sharif. So once there would be the government and there would be any such situation, what role Nawaz Sharif as a supreme leader of Muslim League-N
mm,
play, that would be vital to deal with the JUI Pakistan especially, and because they remained a long-term partner not only in government but also when they were in opposition. When PDM was formed
mm.
under Maulana Fazlur Rahman, they remained active partners. So that is advantage Muslim League Nawaz will carry with that the rapport enjoyed by their supreme leader Nawaz Sharif with the JUI leader Maulana Fazlur Rahman, that can come into effect once they will be in tight spot.
Right, right, Shabir, of course. It's always lovely to have you talking on such political dynamics of the country. And of course, these are very interesting times. They are very unprecedented scenes that we are witnessing, that the whole country is witnessing at the moment. We'll keep talking to you and we'll keep having your insights as the process unfolds as well. As the National Assembly session is underway, this is the 16th National Assembly. And the session is currently underway to elect the Prime Minister. We from the coalition partners, we have Shehbaz Sharif, who is vying for the second stint as the country's Prime Minister. From the other side, we have Sunni Ittihad Council Umar Ayub Khan, who is also vying for the post of Prime Minister. Earlier, we saw that the National Assembly session was mired by speculation. We saw that the president was hesitant to give his assent to the convening, to the summary of the convening of the National Assembly session. But we saw that the president, Dr. Arif Alvi, had a change of heart at the last moment, and he finally gave his assent to the convening of the National Assembly session. Then we saw on the first day, on the maiden session of the National Assembly, we saw a lot of protests and sloganeering from the opposition benches. There were speeches made, and there was also question raised whether the House was complete, as the issue of reserve seats was still pending. But of course, Khwaja Asif responded to Barrister Goha, and then on the next day, we saw the elections for the Speaker and Deputy Speaker were to be held. For the election of Speaker, we saw the coalition candidate Sardar Ayaz Sadiq versus Amir Dogar from the Sunni Ittihad Council. And Sardar Ayaz Sadiq won with a huge lead. Then we saw in the Deputy Speaker's elections, uh, PPP's PPP's Ghulam Mustafa Shah was announced as the Deputy Speaker. Then, when we move on to today's elections to elect the leader of the House, the process under which the Prime Minister gets elected is the division method, as Shabir Ahmed Vagra also has stated as our correspondent, as he was present in the National Assembly since morning. The process proceeds in such a way that it is known as a division method. There are two lobbies allocated, which is known as Lobby A and Lobby B. Both these lobbies are allocated to their concerning nominees for the post of the Prime Minister's post. One lobby belongs to the coalition members, the other lobby belongs to the member of the Sunni Ittihad Council, and all the members of the parliament that are present. The bells are rung for 5 minutes, so all of them, all the members of the parliament, they can gather in the assembly hall, and then they are alphabetically moved to the lobbies of the candidate they support. And this is known as the division method, that the house is divided into two lobbies. The members go towards whatever lobby is allocated to the candidate, and that is how they show their support and their vote for whatever candidate they're supporting. And at the moment, we can see that all the current newly elected members of the National Assembly, they are going to their respective lobbies to show and to validate their vote for the candidate that they support. From the coalition partners, we see the PML-N, the PPP, the MQM, the IPP, and the Balochistan Awami Party. It is a coalition, and it is a strong coalition, as we saw in the Speaker and Deputy Speaker elections. That these parties, their candidates had won the elections for Speaker and Deputy Speaker with a huge margin. Now, considering today's elections, we can see that all the newly elected members of the National Assembly, they walk down to their respective lobbies for whatever nominee they wanted to support, and they can be seen going down. Their names would be called alphabetically, and they would mark their attendance and their vote on the register. We also saw, and we talked about this, a very important topic as well with Shabir Ahmed Wagra. Our team are also present. Our team is also present in the National Assembly session, as it is a very momentous occasion, and we are telecasting live the proceedings from the National Assembly session. We have been joined by Ali Andaz, who is present in the National Assembly and who will be updating us on the process and the elections to select the leader of the House, which is underway. This is the 16th National Assembly session. Yes, Ali Andaz, what details can you provide us, as the division method is currently underway to elect the leader of the House?
Yes, Rafi, the process to elect new leader of the House is currently underway in the National Assembly. This voting process takes around 2.5 hours. We are still in the middle of this process, and all the newly elected members of the National Assembly are present in the National Assembly hall to vote for there. Now, there are two main candidates for the post of the leader of the House for the six-party coalition. We have Shehbaz Sharif, and from the Sunni Ittihad Council, we have Umar Ayub. And to talk in detail about this entire process of electing the leader of the House, I have with me our correspondent Musharraf, who has been covering the National Assembly for the past many years, and he knows every single detail about this process. So, Musharraf, where do we stand right now? Where is the process right now? And how long it's going to take to elect the new leader of the House?
Well, right now we are at Parliament House, and of course, it's a historic day. And inside the National Assembly Hall, the process to elect leader of the House is underway. At the outset of the session, the Speaker, National Assembly, announced the the procedure for the election of for the leader of the House. Of course, he will be the Prime Minister of Pakistan as well. And announcing those procedures, he said that the House will be divided into two lobbies, Lobby A and Lobby B. As you know, there are two candidates for the slot of leader of the House. One is from Sunni Ittihad Council, Umar Ayub, and the other one is from the coalition partners, Shehbaz Sharif. These are the two contestants. Therefore, the House has been divided into two lobbies. Lobby A, the candidates who support Shehbaz Sharif will be going in that, and they will be registering their vote, and the tellers will note down their names. And the others from the candidate who the members who would be voting for Umar Ayub from Sunni Ittihad, they will the members will go they be, and they will register their name to the teller. And after that, this process will complete. The speaker will announce the number of votes obtained by each of the two candidates, and then the announcement for the leader of the House will be made by the speaker.
Musharraf, as far as the number game is concerned, where do you think both candidates stand with the numbers in the National Assembly?
Ali, we have already seen that in Speaker and Deputy Speaker's election, that the coalition partners have successfully got their Deputy Speaker and Speakers elected. And as far as numbers are concerned, we are expecting that the coalition partners will be easily be winning their candidate will easily win this leader of the House election. And for that matter, Shehbaz Sharif is being expected to be the leader of the House. As you know, on Sunni Ittihad Council has 91 votes, members present in the hall, and while JUI-F and BNP Mangal, they are not voting and they are not present in the hall. So therefore, we are expecting that Shehbaz Sharif is likely to be the leader of the house, as they have the numbers which are clearly present in the house, in the National Assembly Hall. And because it's very important that in speaker and deputy speakers elections, the vote is secret. But in the for the election of leader of the house, it's openly, it's expressive, and everyone needs to see that where the candidates are polling their votes. And even you see that it's important, because leader of the house needs to win the confidence of all the all his supporters or coalition partners, and it should be very expressive and in front of everyone. People would be watching on TV, as well as sitting in the lobbies, they will be watching. And there are four, as you have already mentioned, that there are four occasions where open vote is given in the National Assembly. One is when the finance bill is passed, and on the second occasion, when vote of no confidence vote is required, and thirdly, when there is no vote of confidence is required, and fourth, when there is constitutional amendment, then open vote is demanded by is announced by the Speaker National Assembly. So it's very important that this process is going on. It's really historic movement, and it's the first session of 16th National Assembly, when we are going to choose our leader of the house, and everyone is eyeing and waiting for the results from the Speaker National Assembly.
Musharraf, when the bells rang and the doors were shut, no member was allowed to go outside and no one was allowed inside. At that moment, do you have number as to how many MNAs were present inside the National Assembly Hall?
Well, as I have already mentioned that the speaker and deputy speakers elections, was from that election, it was evident that coalition, seven-party coalition is likely to win this very important vote for the slot of leader of the house. So as you know, at the outset of the session, even the Speaker National Assembly also administered oath to one of the newly elected member, Jam Kamal. And since the bells rang, there was, we couldn't actually count the numbers, but it was quite sure from visibly the number of the, on the coalition partner side was quite enough, and it was larger than the Sunni Ittihad Council, and it was visible. We can't give you the numbers, exact numbers. That will come, of course, after Speaker will announce. At this point, I don't have the numbers, but it was visibly, it was clear that the coalition partners had clear majority in the House to elect their leader of the House.
Uh, do we have anything else on the agenda of the House today?
Well, after the election of leader of the house, the leader of the house will rise up from his seat, and he will also give his maiden address. And in that maiden address, that would be very important points that he would put forward today. Especially, Pakistan is facing economic challenges, and we are expecting that. The leader of the house will be talking in length, and would also try to create consensus among all political parties to bring them to focus on this very important point, that is economic challenge. It's economic challenge. If we talk about in detail, we have we are expecting that the new government will be talking to IMF soon, and for that matter, government needs a coherent and policy and consensus among all political parties to prior to those talks with the IMF. And second is inflation, which is day by day. We are the people are really worried due to the utility bills, the inflation, the commodity rates. So government will be focusing on this, and these points will be included in newly elected leader of the house speech. that he will deliver today. And secondly, there would be there is terrorism. He will also be talking about that, and we are expecting that he will also try to convince the opposition benches to smoothly run this democratic process and the legislature work of the house, so that the government could concentrate on the real issues with their help. And also he would demand them to give their positive input on these very important national issues.
Well, the leader of the house today will will make a speech and address the challenges faced by the government, by the country. That was Musharraf giving in-depth details about what's going on in the house right now. The leadership of all political parties is in the parliament, and today National Assembly will have a new leader of the house.
Right, Ali, am I audible to you?
Yes, Rafi.
Considering that we have gotten a hold of two very fine gentlemen and very fine correspondents that are giving real-time information from the National Assembly, I'd like to ask you and Musharraf as well, how the atmosphere at the National Assembly seems at the moment as the process to elect the leader of the House is underway. And we are also expecting a speech from the leader of the House, whoever wins today. Many good luck to all the contestants. But whoever wins today, they will be making a speech in the House. But we've seen in the earlier sessions, there was a lot of protests, a lot of sloganeering, and the speeches were not allowed to be made by the parliamentarians. Do we see actually the leader of the House getting that opportunity to make a speech today?
Well, that is a very interesting question, Rafi. As far as the atmosphere in the National Assembly is concerned, uh, the majority of the political parties do understand the challenges that this country face and the need to work collectively and in collaboration with the opposition as well. But the reality seems a little different on the ground. Uh, Members of the Sunni Ittihad Council raised a ruckus just before the voting began, and it was a disappointing sight, to say the least. And we expect that it appears that they will continue with their sloganeering, chantings in the National Assembly Hall, and it's going to be a little. I don't think "little" is the right word, but it will be challenging for the coalition government, Shehbaz Sharif, if he's elected today, to deal with not only the economic challenges, the security challenges that this country faces, but most importantly, the political polarization that this country is witnessing. It is the most challenging aspect for this government, and we expect a lot of drama inside the National Assembly today.
Right. We also see some very prominent faces in the gallery. I saw Suleiman Shehbaz, who is the son of the one of the candidates for the prime ministerial position. We also see some other very prominent names from the PPP, from the PML-N, from even the Sunni Ittihad Council. We see there's a lot of supporters and a lot of people. And of course, today is a very momentous day for the country and all the supporters of democracy and the parliamentary system in the country. What's the atmosphere? What's the environment? And what are the emotions and expressions that you see on the people in the gallery? Because this is a very important day in the parliament today and for the next 5 years to come.
Rafi, when this inaugural session began, due to security concerns, the passes were cancelled by the National Assembly. However,
Mm.
still people coming with various members who have been elected as a member of the National Assembly are inside the National Assembly Hall. As far as emotions are concerned, we have seen those emotions running high during the elections and after the elections, and still we see a lot of drama in the National Assembly and outside the National Assembly. So uh, emotions are running high. But I've talked to Barrister Gohar Ali Khan from Sunni Ittihad Council, and he
Mm.
seems to understand the problems that we are facing, that country is facing, and the need to work closely with the coalition government. And he has mentioned that he wants to play the role of a positive opposition. But the question remains whether other members of his party will stick to this principle of presenting a positive opposition to the government.
The same question arises in my mind, Ali. On the first day, on the maiden session of the National Assembly, we saw that Barrister Gohar, even he was very aggressive and very adamant with his reservations. The next day, when it was the elections for the Speaker and Deputy Speaker, we saw that they had become a little cooperative, and they were more honourable towards the parliamentary process. And of course, the Speaker, and they were sharing their reservations and grievances, and they were conveying these problems and differences to the speaker in a very respectful and a dignified manner. Do we see a change of ways from the other Sunni Ittihad Council PTI members as well, or is Barrister Gohar an exception in the Sunni Ittihad Council and the opposition benches?
Well, Rafe, at the moment, Barrister Ali Gohar appears to be an exception. And
Okay.
that's exactly how emotions work. Uh, he sees members of his party being very emotional, raising slogans and raising chants inside the National Assembly Hall, and that will make his job a little difficult too. And in that scenario, I think it becomes very difficult for a leader to control all the members of his party. And just a while ago, before the voting started, all the members of the Sunni Ittihad Council were holding placards and were standing in front of the speaker. And definitely that also brought the members of various partners of this coalition government. And these things will definitely keep the emotions, the temperature inside the National Assembly Hall quite high. Will affect the legislation, that will affect the working of the National Assembly, and which has the most important job is to make legislation law.
All right, Ali, interesting times, and thank you for the live updates from the National Assembly. We, of course, appreciate you and Musharraf's efforts and all our reporting team for giving real-time information. For the viewers, every viewer that is watching, because these are very interesting times and momentous occasions in which the elections for the Prime Minister are being held in the lower house of Parliament. We hear the bells ringing, and of course, as we've also talked about the process, it is a division method in which the elections are held, and the bells are rung for 5 minutes. So all the members of the lower house of Parliament, all the newly elected parliamentarians, they can gather in the Assembly Hall. And as you can see live visuals on your screen, we can see all the members actually walking down and coming in. Thank you, Ali Andaz, for updating us. Now we'll move towards the National Assembly session as it is about to commence again. As you can see on your screens, these are very prominent names walking in the Assembly Hall. We can see Hamza Shehbaz, we can see Khwaja Asif, Fatah Tarar, we can see Shiza Fatma Khwaja. Along with that, we can also see some very prominent names from the PML-N walking down into the Assembly Hall as the division method for the election of Prime Minister is in process. We can also see the PPP chairman, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, walking in at the moment. These are very interesting times, as we can see the coalition partners, they can be seen walking in. We saw Hamza Shehbaz walking in as the first major political leader from the PML-N, followed by Khwaja Asif and other members of the PML-N. Then we saw the PPP chairman, and now we can see the former speaker, who was the outgoing speaker till yesterday. We can see Raja Parvez Ashraf. Along with that, we can see Shazia Murray, and other prominent names from the Pakistan People's Party can be seen walking in as well to the Assembly Hall. And all of these newly elected members will take their seats in the Assembly Hall. They will gather on their respective seats, and after which the process will further proceed. The Speaker, along with the National Assembly Secretariat, will be concluding the election for the post of Prime Minister. It was held through a division method with 2 lobbies allocated to each nominee. And the members who wanted to vote for their respective nominee had to go in their lobby and then in an alphabetical manner, they had to go to the roster and sign in the electoral rolls and mark their attendance as well. We can see that all the members are gathering in the National Assembly Hall at the moment. We have two main contestants for the post of Prime backed PML-N President Shehbaz Sharif, who will be vying for the post of Prime Minister for the second time, as he had a short stint in the PDM government. And the other hand, we see Sunni Ittihad Council member Umar Ayub Khan, who is also vying for the post of Prime Minister. But as we saw in the elections of Speaker and Deputy Speaker, that the coalition-backed members had a huge lead. We can see some fresh faces as well walking in. We see Barrister Daniel from the PML-N walking in. We see some other new faces as well that are walking in to the Parliament's hall. We see Nabil Gabol walking in as well. And we can see a lot of other members coming down to the hall, as this is a very momentous occasion and a very interesting time, as the coalition partners, they know they're in a strong position considering the elections of Speaker and Deputy Speaker, in which Sardar Sadiq, the coalition-backed nominee for the post of Speaker, won by a huge margin. Then we saw PPP's Ghulam Mustafa Shah, who was also a nominee for the post of Deputy Speaker. He also won by a huge margin. And of course, there was a lot of ruckus in the National Assembly, as seen earlier in the past two sessions as well, and today as well. We saw there was sloganeering, there was protest, and of course, that is a part of how the National Assembly process goes on. But differences aside, today is a very momentous occasion for both the benches, whether it be the Treasury benches, the opposition benches, as it is a democratic process taking place in the country, and such democratic processes, they strengthen the furtherance of democracy and the democratic norms in the country, and it is a very momentous occasion in that regard, as spoken by Ali Andaz and Musharraf Zahur as well. At the moment, we can see Sharmila Faruqi walking in. We also saw Jamal Raisani walking in, who was one of the youngest provincial ministers of the country. We see that there are a lot of prominent names, and the coalition partners, most of them are walking in. And we also see Sunni Ittihad Council members. We also saw them in the other lobby, and they will also be assembling in the National Assembly Hall, so that the process can further proceed and it can be culminated. We see the former president and the presidential nominee Asif Ali Zardari walking in. Everybody knows he's the presidential nominee. Everybody knows he is the person who is going to be very interested, as he is the center of Pakistan's politics at the moment. PPP, under the patronage of Asif Ali Zardari and Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, they've performed very well in these elections. Of course, they were every party host, they would be vying for their candidate from their party would be vying for the post of Prime Minister. But even though the PPP is in coalition with PML-N and will have a power sharing formula with them as well, although not at the moment, but in the future, we can see interesting times in the country's democracy, as parties, even though they have their differences, they are willing to sit together, they are willing to have dialogue for better governance, to address economic challenges, to address challenges related to foreign policy. We see a lot of good norms being set. We see the PPP chairman, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, along with the presidential nominee, Asif Ali Zardari. And we can see smiles all around. We see Khwaja Asif and Raja Pervez Ashraf sitting next to each other. We also saw Nawaz Sharif and Shehbaz Sharif earlier sitting next to each other. These are interesting times. We see the gallery is full of all the supporters, all the workers, and all the members that are present there to support their party candidates and their party nominees. We see Atatar also standing in the Assembly Hall. And you can see the Assembly Hall is almost complete with the full attendance of all the newly elected members of Parliament. And these are interesting times, as today the election for the post of Prime Minister are being held. The session is being chaired by the newly elected Speaker, Sardar Sadiq. We also saw Mustafa Kamal from the MQM Pakistan, who is a part of the coalition partners, walking in. We also see other members of the coalition partners walking in the Assembly Hall. All these newly elected members are gathering in the Assembly Hall, so the process for the election of the Prime Minister can come to a conclusion, Of course, the Speaker of the National Assembly and the National Assembly Secretariat will be cooperating in concluding and counting and the announcement of the winner. We can see IPP's Aleem Khan walking in as well. With this, we see all the major parties and all the major leaders who have walked in the House, and the quorum of the lower house of parliament would almost be complete. All of them are in, and all of these newly elected members are in attendance. The session would be presided by, and a session would be resumed by the Speaker, National Assembly, Sardar Sadiq. And after that, we see PML-N's Tariq Fazal Chaudhry also walking in, and he can be seen walking out at the moment. He might have forgotten something, but he will be back as well because the assembly needs to be in full attendance. We see Khalid Maqbool Siddiqui walking in at the moment, and we see as the full attendance will be in place, the Speaker, Ayaz Sadiq, will proceed the session further and bring the election of the Leader of the House to its conclusion and announce, after which the Leader of the House will make his maiden speech as the Prime Minister of the country. Musaddiq Malik can also be seen walking out. We see the 3 times former Prime Minister, the PML-N Supremo Nawaz Sharif, along with the Prime Ministerial nominee Shehbaz Sharif walking in. Shehbaz Sharif can be seen wearing a double-breasted suit as always. I'm a fan of minister's dressing and how the way he carries himself, very sharp indeed. He can be seen accompanied by Tariq Fazal Chaudhry and a delegation of other PML-N leaders. Bilal Azharkiani can be seen walking alongside Mia Mohammad Nawaz Sharif, the PML-N Supremo. There's sloganeering, as you can see on the screens at the moment, from the PML-N supporters, the PML-N leaders, and they are gathering around their Qaid, their Supremo Nawaz Sharif, along with the Prime Ministerial nominee Shehbaz Sharif. Khwaja Asif can also be seen in the frame along with Shehbaz Sharif. And now the Prime Ministerial nominee has just sat down, and the Hassan Iqbal can also be seen behind Shehbaz Sharif, along with other PML-N members. And now, as the House is almost complete in attendance with all the members, Sardar Sadiq is going to commence the proceedings again.
जी रिजल्ट अनाउंस करना चाह रहा हूं मियां मोहम्मद शहबाज शरीफ साहब हैज सिक्योर्ड 201 वोट्स जी उमर अयूब खान साहब has secured 92 votes. Mia Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif Saab is declared to have been elected as the Prime Minister of Islamic Republic of Pakistan. I request Mia Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif Saab to take the seat of the Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. जी आमिर डोगर साहब, आमिर डोगर साहब, आमिर डोगर साहब, असद कैसर साहब, आमिर डोगर साहब, असद कैसर साहब, काइंडली मेरी बात सुन लीजिए। जी असद साहब,
And ladies and gentlemen, this is a momentous occasion. The breaking news that we are sharing right here on our screens and in Pakistan as well. Shehbaz Sharif has secured 201 votes and he has been elected the leader of the House and the next Prime Minister of Pakistan.
Well, this is news just in that Shehbaz Sharif, after a long day and the elections for the Prime Minister have concluded, Sardar Sadiq, the Speaker of the National Assembly, has announced that Shehbaz Sharif has been elected as Prime Minister of Pakistan and Leader of the House, securing 201 votes. His other rival contestant from the Sindh Ittihad Council, Umar Ayub, got 92 votes, and Shehbaz Sharif has been elected as the Prime Minister of Pakistan and has sat and assumed the chair as the Prime Minister of the country. These are momentous occasions being brought live to your screens by PTV World. Shehbaz Sharif has secured 201 votes and is now the leader of the House and the Prime Minister of the country.
And also, the newly elected Prime Minister will be delivering a speech shortly. We're all looking forward to this occasion where Pakistanis, after the elections 2024, were looking forward to for the formation of the government. And finally, it was in the final process, final stage. And right now, we are seeing the results where Shehbaz Sharif has secured 201 votes and he was vying for the slot of Prime Minister and he has been elected the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
Treasury benches, as you can see on the screens, everyone is congratulating the newly elected Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. He can be seen sitting next to the party supremo Nawaz Sharif and Khwaja Asif, and a crowd of the party supporters and the party leaders can be seen standing around him, congratulating him on becoming the Prime Minister of the country for a second time. Earlier, Shehbaz Sharif had a 6 months Prime Minister in the PDM government. And now Shehbaz Sharif has been elected as Prime Minister and Leader of the House by securing 201 votes. Of course, the coalition partners are also very joyous, very happy, and very congratulating towards the newly elected Prime Minister. Shahzad Fatma Khwaja can be seen standing next to him. And now the Prime Minister is making his maiden speech.
Honorable Speaker और इंतहाई काबिल एहतराम
The Honorable Prime Minister is speaking. Kindly बैठें ताकि उमर अयूब साहब की भी बारी आ सके बात करने की. Kindly तशरीफ रखें ताकि इसके बाद उमर अयूब साहब ने बात करना है.
मैं आज की अपनी तकरीर अल्लाह ताला के पाक नाम से शुरू करता हूं और सबसे पहले मैं आपको डिप्टी स्पीकर साहब को और पूरे ऐवान को दिल की गहराइयों से मुबारकबाद पेश करता हूं और ख़ास तौर पर मैं अपने कायद मियां मोहम्मद नवाज शरीफ जिन्होंने मुझे इस मनसब के लिए नामजद किया और मैं अपने हलीफ पार्टीज के सरबराहान जनाब प्रेसिडेंट आसिफ अली जरदारी साहब, चेयरमैन बिलावल भुट्टो जरदारी साहब, जनाब डॉक्टर खालिद मकबूल सिद्दीकी, जनाब चौधरी शुजात हुसैन और चौधरी सादिक हुसैन और जनाब अब्दुल अलीम खान اور سردار خالد مکسی اور ان کے تمام پارٹی اراکین کا دل کی اتھاہ گہرائیوں سے شکریہ ادا کرتا ہوں کہ جنہوں نے اپنے ووٹوں اور اپنی محبت سے مجھے آج اس ایوان کا لیڈر آف دی اپوزیشن منتخب کیا۔ جناب اسپیکر، میں یہ بات ڈنکے کی چوٹ پر کرنا چاہتا ہوں کہ میرے قائد میاں محمد نواز شریف جو 3 مرتبہ وزیر اعظم پاکستان منتخب ہوئے، ان کی لیڈرشپ میں پاکستان میں جو ترقی اور خوشحالی کے جو انقلاب آئے وہ اپنی مثال آپ ہیں، اور یہ کہنا غلط نہیں کہ میاں محمد نواز شریف معمار پاکستان ہیں۔ 20 گھنٹے کی لوڈ شیڈنگ انہی کے دور حکومت میں اللہ تعالیٰ کے فضل و کرم سے ختم ہوئی، اور میں یہاں پر یہ کہنا چاہتا ہوں کہ وہ شخص جس نے پاکستان میں ایٹمی قوت کی بنیاد رکھی، شہید ذوالفقار علی بھٹو، ان کی خدمات کو یہ قوم ہمیشہ یاد رکھے گی، اور شومیِ قسمت دیکھیں کہ وہ شخص جوڈیشل مرڈر کی نظر ہوا، اور یہاں پر یہ بات کہے بغیر میں نہیں رہ سکتا کہ ان کی صاحبزادی محترمہ بے نظیر بھٹو شہید نے جمہوریت، قانون اور انصاف کے لیے اپنی جان کا نذرانہ پیش کر دیا، اور اسی طریقے سے جناب اسپیکر، میاں محمد نواز شریف کو اس بات کی سزا دی گئی کہ انہوں نے پورے ملک میں ترقی اور خوشحالی کے مینار تعمیر کیے، اور ان کی تمام ان عوامی منصوبے کے اوپر چونکہ تختیاں لگی تھی، بعض قوتوں کو یہ بات راست نہ آئی، اور انہوں نے 3 بار محمد نواز شریف کی حکومت کا تختہ الٹ دیا، سلاخوں کے پیچھے بجوایا، بے بنیاد کیسز بنائے، جلا وطنیاں پر مجبور کیا، لیکن نہ میاں محمد نواز شریف نے، نہ پریزیڈنٹ آصف علی زرداری نے، نہ چیئرمین بلاول بھٹو نے ان تمام مظالم کے باوجود جو ان پر توڑے گئے، نواز شریف اور میری بھتیجی وہ جیل میں گئی، آصف زرداری صاحب کی ہمشیرہ وہ جیل میں گئی، مگر نواز شریف نے کبھی پاکستان کے مفادات کے خلاف بات کرنا تو درکنار، انہوں نے کبھی کسی وقت کسی لمحے پاکستان کے مفاد کو نقصان پہنچنے کی کبھی سوچا تک نہیں۔ اسی طریقے سے جب محترمہ بے نظیر بھٹو شہید ہوئی تو آصف علی زرداری نے کہا، ایک انتہائی دلگداز دل تھا ان کا کہ پاکستان کھپے۔ جناب اسپیکر، یہ ہے وہ فرق جو اس قومی قیادت نے پاکستان کی تاریخ میں ادا کیا، اور دوسری طرف میں یہ کہنے پر مجبور ہوں جناب اسپیکر کہ جب ان کی باری آئی تو نہ صرف انہوں نے پوری اپوزیشن کو سلاخوں کے پیچھے ڈال دیا، بچوں، خواتین، بزرگوں کی پرواہ نہیں کی، اور کیا کیا گرے ہوئے الفاظ استعمال کیے کہ زبان پر لائے نہیں جا سکتے، اور پاکستان کے خلاف زہر اگلا اور پاکستان کی افواج کے خلاف زہر اگلا، حتیٰ کہ پاکستان کا جو اہم ترین جو پاکستان کی بقا کا معاملہ تھا، وہاں پر بھی اپنے دو صوبوں کے وزرائے خزانہ سے کہا کہ تم نے IMF کے حوالے سے کوئی مدد نہیں کرنی۔ جناب اسپیکر، یہ ہے وہ فرق اس قیادت کا اور اس قیادت کا، اور جناب اسپیکر آپ اس بات کے گواہ ہیں، یہ پورا معزز ایوان اس بات کا گواہ ہے کہ ہم نے کبھی عدلے کی بدلے کی سیاست کا سوچا تک نہیں۔ ہم نے پاکستان کے مفاد میں ہم نے صبر اور تحمل اور برداشت سے کام لیا، کبھی کوئی گملہ نہیں ٹوٹا، کبھی کسی بلڈنگ کو نقصان نہیں پہنچا، لیکن یہ کتنی ستم ظریفی کی بات ہے جناب اسپیکر کہ اس قوم نے وہ دن بھی دیکھا جب 9 مئی کو ان اداروں پر حملے کیے گئے، 9 مئی کو GHQ میں، کور کمانڈر ہاؤسز میں، ایئر فیلڈز میں حملے کیے گئے۔ جناب اسپیکر، یہ دلخراش واقعہ دیکھتی آنکھ سے کبھی نہیں دیکھا تھا، ایک پاکستانی نے کبھی نہیں سوچا تھا۔ جناب اسپیکر، کیا بیتی ہوگی ان شہداء کے ورثاء پہ، کیا بیتی ہوگی ان ہزاروں گھرانوں میں جن کے پیارے اپنی جان ہتھیلی پہ رکھ کر وطن عزیز کی خاطر اللہ کو پیارے ہو گئے، جنہوں نے مردانہ وار دہشت گردی کا مقابلہ کیا، اور دہشت گردی کے مقابلے میں نواز شریف کا فیصلہ تھا کہ اب پانی سر سے گزر چکا، اب ہمیں دہشت گردی کے خلاف متحد ہو جانا چاہیے۔ جناب اسپیکر، جن کڑیل جوانوں نے اپنے جان پیش کر کے وہ اپنے بچوں کو یتیم کر گئے، لیکن قوم کے لاکھوں بچوں کو محفوظ کر گئے، ان کی بیویاں بیوہ ہو گئیں، مگر لاکھوں مائیں اور بہنیں محفوظ ہو گئیں۔ جناب اسپیکر، ایسی لیڈرشپ، ایسا جتھا، کیا یہ بات قابل معافی ہے؟ یہ فیصلہ اس معزز ایوان نے کرنا ہے، یہ فیصلہ انصاف اور قانون نے کرنا ہے۔ جناب اسپیکر، میں یہ عرض کرنا چاہتا ہوں، ہمارے سامنے 2 راستے تھے۔ ایک راستہ یہ تھا کہ ہم اپنی سیاست بچا لیتے اور آرام سے بیٹھے رہتے، اور دوسرا راستہ تھا کہ ملک کو بچانے کے لیے ہم ہر چیز کی قربانی دے دیں. میاں محمد نواز شریف نے, پریزیڈنٹ آصف علی زرداری نے, چیئرمین بلاول بھٹو زرداری نے, ڈاکٹر صدیقی نے اور سردار مکسی نے اور علیم خان اور ہمارے وہ ساتھی جو اس ایوان میں پیچھے سب بیٹھے ہیں, انہوں نے فیصلہ کیا کہ نہیں, سیاست قربان ہوتی تو قربان ہو. آج بطور ایک پاکستانی, آج بطور ایک سیاستدان اور آج بطور ایک مسلمان ہم اپنا کردار ادا کریں گے. جناب اسپیکر, میں آگے بڑھنے سے پہلے یہ کہنا چاہتا ہوں کہ سابق اسپیکر راجہ پرویز اشرف, انہوں نے اپنے دورے اسپیکری میں جو شاندار کردار ادا کیا ہے, جس طرح ہاؤس کو چلایا ہے, میں اپنی طرف سے اور اپنی پارٹی کی طرف سے ان کو خراج تحسین پیش کرتا ہوں. جناب اسپیکر, پاکستان کے پاس بے پناہ صلاحیتیں موجود ہیں. ہمارے پاس دریا ہے, سمندر ہے, یہ معزز ایوان بھرا پڑا ہے بہت قابل اذہان سے. بڑے عظیم پاکستانی اس ایوان میں پاکستان کے چاروں صوبوں میں بیٹھے ہیں, جو کہ خدا کے فضل و کرم سے اس ملک کی کشتی کو منجھار سے نکال کر کنارے لے جائیں گے. اس میں اہل دانش بھی ہیں, اس میں جرنلسٹ بھی ہیں, اس میں پولیٹیشنز بھی ہیں, اس میں لیڈران کرام بھی ہیں, اس میں ہماری مادی قومی دولت ہے. ہماری نوجوان بچے اور بچیاں جن کی تعداد کروڑوں میں ہے, وہ آج پاکستان کا ہراول دستہ ہے. وہ آج پاکستان کا ایک انمول اللہ تعالیٰ کا تحفہ ہے. یہ ایک بہت بڑا چیلنج بھی ہے اور ساتھ ایک بہت بڑی اپرچونٹی بھی ہے. جناب اسپیکر, میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ چاہے معدنیات ہو, چاہے زراعت ہو, چاہے آئی ٹی ہو, اگر ہم مل کے فیصلہ کر لیں گے کہ ہم نے پاکستان کی تقدیر بدلنی ہے, تو خدائے بزرگ و برتر کو گواہ بنا کر میں کہتا ہوں کہ انشاءاللہ ہم اس ہمالیہ نما چیلنجز کو, ہم اس سمندر سے گہرے چیلنجز کو مل کر انشاءاللہ اس کو عبور کریں گے اور پاکستان کو اس کا صحیح مقام دلوائیں گے. لیکن جناب اسپیکر, easier said than done, یہ کام مشکل ضرور ہے لیکن ناممکن نہیں ہے. میں چند بڑے بڑے جو اس وقت چیلنجز ہیں, جو کانٹے کی طرح پوری قوم کو چبھ رہے ہیں, میں اس کا ذکر کرنا اس لیے ضروری سمجھتا ہوں کہ پہلے اس بات کا ادراک ہو جائے کہ چیلنجز ہے کیا, مشکلات ہے کیا. جناب اسپیکر, میں اس معزز ایوان کی خدمت میں یہ عرض کرنا چاہتا ہوں کہ اس بجٹ کے اس دورانیے میں جو کل محصولات کا اندازہ ہے وہ 12,300 ارب روپے صوبوں کو NFC ایوارڈ کی تحت تقسیم کے بعد صرف 7,300 ارب بچتے ہیں. صوبوں کی حصے کی تقسیم کے بعد. اور جناب اسپیکر جو 7,300 ارب بچتے ہیں اس میں صرف انٹرسٹ سروس چارجز یا سود کی ادائیگی 8,000 ارب ہے. 8,000 ارب ہے. یعنی 700 ارب روپے کا ڈے ون سے ڈیفیسٹ خسارہ. اب آپ مجھے بتائیں جناب اسپیکر کہ 700 ارب روپے کا خسارہ ڈے ون سے ہو تو پھر ترقیاتی منصوبوں کا پیسہ کہاں سے آئے گا؟ تعلیم، علاج اور سماج کے لیے پیسہ کہاں سے آئے گا؟ افواج پاکستان کی تنخواہیں کہاں سے دیں گی؟ سرکاری افسران جو وفاق میں ہیں ان کی تنخواہیں کہاں سے دیں گے؟ جناب اسپیکر یہ بات میں دکھی دل کے ساتھ کہہ رہا ہوں کہ یہ سب کچھ قرض در قرض لے کے دیا جا رہا ہے پچھلے کئی سال سے. اور یہ ہے وہ سب سے بڑا چیلنج جو آج پوری پاکستانی قوم 25 کروڑ عوام کا سب سے بڑا آج یہ سنگین مسئلہ ہے. جناب اسپیکر اگر میں یہ کہوں تو یہ بے جانا ہوگا کہ جس ایوان میں ہم آج بیٹھے ہیں اس شور شرابے کے باوجود، حالانکہ آج شعور کا راج ہونا چاہیے تھا. باہر کیف یہ ان کی مرضی. میں کہنا یہ چاہتا ہوں کہ جس ایوان میں بیٹھے ہیں اس کی کارروائی کے اخراجات بھی قرض سے ادا کیے جا رہے ہیں. آپ کی تنخواہ، اس پورے ایوان کی تنخواہ قرضوں سے ادا کی جا رہی ہے. تو کیا یہ صورتحال اس بات کی متقاضی ہے کہ شور شرابہ کیا جائے یا شعور کو فروغ دیا جائے؟ یہ فیصلہ جناب اسپیکر اس ایوان نے کرنا ہے اور تاریخ اس کا فیصلہ کرے گی. اس طرح جناب اسپیکر ہماری صورتحال اب یہ ہو چکی ہے کہ آج تک ہم 80,000 ارب 80,000 بلین روپیز کہ ہم بیرونی، اندرونی اور پرائیویٹ قرضے لے چکے ہیں. کیا اس صورتحال میں ایک عظیم ایٹمی قوت والا پاکستان اپنے وجود کو اس قرضوں کے بوجھ کے بعد برقرار رکھ سکتا ہے؟ ضرور رکھے گا کہ اگر ہم نے مل کر فیصلہ کر لیا کہ ہمیں اب ڈیپ سرجری کرنی ہے، ہمیں نظام میں انقلابی تبدیلیاں لانی ہیں، ہم نے مختلف شعبوں میں بنیادی ریفارمز لانی ہے. اور مجھے اس میں کوئی شک نہیں کہ جناب محمد نواز شریف اور جناب پریزیڈنٹ آصف زرداری اور جناب بلاول زرداری بھٹو صاحب اور میرے باقی پارٹی کے زعماء اس بات پر مکمل اتفاق کریں گے کہ یا تو ہم قرضوں کی زندگی سے جان چھڑا لیں یا پھر خدا نہ خواستہ جس طرح محکوم قومیں ہوتی ہیں سر جھکا کے ہم اپنے آپ کو چلائیں. یہ ممکن نہیں ہے، ایسا نہیں ہو سکتا. انشاءاللہ ہم مل کر پاکستان کو عظیم بنائیں گے اور سر فخر سے بلند کر کے آگے چلیں گے. جناب اسپیکر اسی طریقے سے میں یہ گزارش کرنا چاہتا ہوں کہ ایک اور کانٹوں بھرا جو چیلنج ہے وہ بجلی کے ہوش ربا قیمتوں میں اضافہ ہے. آپ جانتے ہیں کہ گردشی قرضہ اس وقت بجلی کا 2300 ارب پہنچ چکا ہے, 2300 ارب. اور سادہ الفاظ میں 3800 ارب روپے کی بجلی ترسیل ہوتی ہے, یعنی مہیا کی جاتی ہے, مگر وصولی صرف 2800 ارب روپے. 1000 ارب روپے کا گیپ ہے. 1000 ارب روپے جو کہ آج کے ریٹ کے مطابق تقریباً 3.5 ارب ڈالر بنتا ہے. کیا یہ غریب قوم اس انتہائی بے دردی سے گورننس کی متحمل ہو سکتی ہے؟ میرا جواب ہے کہ 100% ہم اس کو برداشت نہیں کر سکتے. اندازہ کریں کہ 1000 ارب روپے صوبہ سندھ, صوبہ بلوچستان, صوبہ کے پی, صوبہ پنجاب, گلگت بلتستان اور کشمیر میں آپ درجنوں دنیا کے شاندار ہسپتال بنا سکتے ہیں. آپ درجنوں دنیا کی بہترین یونیورسٹیاں بنا سکتے ہیں. غریب اور مجبور کو دوائی مفت مہیا کر سکتے ہیں, اور دیہاتوں میں سب انقلاب لا سکتے ہیں, اور کروڑوں نوجوان بچے اور بچیوں کو آئی ٹی کی تعلیم سے بہرہور کر سکتے ہیں, اور کارخانے اور صنعتیں اس کا چاروں صوبوں میں جال بچھا سکتے ہیں. لیکن 1000 ارب ہر سال وہ ہمارے ڈیفیسٹ میں جا رہا ہے, اور اس سے قوم کی حالت آپ کے سامنے ہے. I would call it like a bottomless pit, کہ ایک بالٹی ہو, اس میں نیچے سوراخ ہو, اور اس سوراخ میں آپ جتنا پانی منڈیلیں وہ نکل جائے گا, بالٹی کبھی نہیں بھرے گی. جناب اسپیکر, اسی طریقے سے 1000 ارب روپے کی سبسڈی دینے کے باوجود تقریباً سال کا 500 سے 600 ارب روپے کی بجلی چوری ہوتی ہے. 500 سے 600 ارب روپے کی بجلی چوری ہوتی ہے. میں گھڑی کی چوری کی بات نہیں کر رہا, بجلی کی چوری کی بات کر رہا ہوں. اور جناب اسپیکر, اسی طریقے سے گیس کا گردشی قرضہ وہ 2900 ارب روپے پہ پہنچ گیا ہے. 2900 ارب روپے پہ, اور اس کی وجہ مہنگی LNG اور گیس چوری اور گیس کی ڈسٹریبیوشن کا نظام. تفصیل میں نہیں جا رہا. اور پھر جناب اسپیکر, شومی قسمت دیکھیں, شومی قسمت دیکھیں, شومی قسمت دیکھیں کہ 600 ارب روپے جو ہمارے قومی ادارے ہیں, جو اسٹیٹ اونڈ انٹرپرائزز ہیں, وہاں پر تقریباً 600 ارب روپے کا سال کا وہاں پر خسارہ ہے. کیا یہ قوم, غریب قوم, یہ برداشت کر سکتی ہے؟ کیا ان نقصانات اور خساروں کے بعد ہم بطور قوم معاشی طور پر زندہ رہ سکتے ہیں؟ اور ترا یہ ہے کہ PIA کا پاکستان انٹرنیشنل ایئر لائنز جو 60 اور 70 کی دہائی میں اس کے بارے میں مشہور تھا, گریٹ پیپل ٹو فلائی وتھ, آج جو اس کا حشر ہو چکا ہے, ایک पिछली हुकूमत के एक साहब ने पीआई के बारे में जो जहर उगला, उसने पूरी दुनिया में पीआई को बैन कर दिया। इससे बड़ा कौमी जुर्म कोई और हो नहीं सकता। तो पीआई का जो आज कर्जे का जो हुजम है वो 800 अरब रुपए हो चुका है। अब बताइए कि जनाब स्पीकर, इन दिलखराश वाक़यात और होशरुबा नुकसानात के बाद आप ये कहें कि यहाँ पर तरक्याती और अवामी महबूद के लिए एक नई ईंट लगे, तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ये फिर एक दीवाने का ख्वाब है। लेकिन इसका हल मौजूद है, उसकी तरफ मैं जनाब स्पीकर अभी आपकी खिदमत में अर्ज करूँगा कि बिजली चोरी और टैक्स चोरी कौम का जिंदगी और मौत का मसला है। और मैं अपने कायद और अपने जो ज़ोमा हैं उनकी इजाज़त से बड़ी इंकिसारी के साथ मगर बड़े एतमाद के साथ ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि इंशाअल्लाह हम इस मूजी कैंसर को मिलकर इसको जड़ से उखाड़ देंगे और पाकिस्तान को उसके पांव पे खड़ा करेंगे। मुश्किल जरूर है, लेकिन nothing is impossible if there is a will to do. It's a long journey, thorny journey, full of hurdles, but those nations who surmounted these huge obstacles, they became again one of the most growing nations around the world. चीन, जापान, जर्मनी उसकी शानदार मिसालें हैं। मलिया मेट हो गए जंगे दोइम में, मगर उन्होंने अपने शिकस्त को मेहनत और अमानत में बदला और आज वो औजे सुरैया से बात कर रहे हैं। जनाब स्पीकर, मैं ये कहना चाहता था कि इस बिजली चोरी, गैस चोरी का सारा बोझ गरीब आदमी उठाता है, यतीम उठाता है, बेरोजगार उठाता है, एक बेवा उठाती है, एक बर्तन साफ करने वाली, रिज़्क़े हलाल कमाने वाली एक औरत वो उठाती है। और गरीब आदमी ये कहने पर मजबूर है, मट्टी की मोहब्बत में हम आशिफ्ता सरों ने, मट्टी की मोहब्बत में हम आशिफ्ता सरों ने वो कर्ज उतारे हैं जो वाजिब भी नहीं थे। जनाब स्पीकर, मैं इस तरफ आपकी अब तवज्जो दिलाऊंगा कि दूसरी चोरी, टैक्स चोरी को रोकना है। इस अमल की निगरानी ये खादम खुद करेगा और इंशाअल्लाह मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी, कंप्यूटराइजेशन, जहाँ पर मिनिमम ह्यूमन इंटरेक्शन हो, उस निज़ाम को, कामयाब मॉडल को हम फिलफौर लेके आएंगे। और जनाब स्पीकर, ये जो मैंने मसाइल बताए हैं और जो इनका हल करने का जो अज़म का इज़हार किया है इन तमाम लीडरान कराम ने, इसके नतीजे में इंशाअल्लाह महंगाई में भी कमी आएगी और रोजगार भी बढ़ेगा, तरक्की होगी, मुल्क खुशहाल होगा, कर्जों से आहिस्ता आहिस्ता निजात मिलती जाएगी। और इसके लिए मैं और मेरे साथी अपनी जानें लड़ा देंगे, किसी चीज को खात्मे नहीं लाएंगे जनाब स्पीकर। और मेरे कायद जो है वो मुझे हमेशा मना करते हैं कि तुम तारीखें मत दिया करो, इसलिए मैं एहतियात से ये कह रहा हूँ कि हम सब मिलकर कोशिश करेंगे कि इन इक़दामात के तकरीबन 1 साल में आहिस्ता आहिस्ता समरात आना शुरू हो और गरीब आदमी, यतीम और बेवा की उसकी सुनवाई हो और वो झोलियां उठा के वो दुआ करे कि पाकिस्तान हमारा है और पाकिस्तान सबका है, हम सब इसमें अपना हिस्सा डालेंगे और अक़वाम आलम में अपना खोया हुआ मुकाम हासिल करके दम लेंगे। जनाब स्पीकर, माशी मैदान में इंशाअल्लाह हमारा जो मंसूबा है वो तो बजट में बयान होगा, लेकिन आज मैं समझता हूं कि ये मौके की मुनासबत भी है, तकाजा भी है और 25 करोड़ आवाम इसका शिद्दत से इनकार कर रहे हैं। अगर शऊर अबूर कर जाए शोर को तो इनका भी फायदा होगा और पूरे ऐवान का फायदा होगा। जनाब स्पीकर, हमारा इरादा है कि कम से कम 5 लाख नौजवान तलबा और तालबात को खसूसी तरबियत, जदीद तरीन टेक्नोलॉजी, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, मशीन लर्निंग और आईटी की बरामदात को हम इंतहाओं को छुएंगे इंशाअल्लाह। और ये नौजवान बच्चे और बच्चियां ये हुनर सीख कर ये जॉब नहीं लेंगे बल्कि जॉब्स क्रिएट करेंगे। और जनाब स्पीकर, कौन नहीं जानता कि किसान से है पाकिस्तान की तरक्की। किसान ज़राअत पाकिस्तान की मईशत की रीढ़ की हड्डी है। नवाज शरीफ साहब के ज़माने में भी, प्रेसिडेंट हाफिज जरदारी साहब के ज़माने में भी ज़राअत के ऊपर बहुत काम हुआ और बड़े खुले दिल के साथ जो ज़रई जनास पैदा करते हैं उनकी कीमतें देने के लिए प्रेसिडेंट जरदारी पेश रहे हैं। और मियां मोहम्मद नवाज शरीफ ने सस्ती खाद पूरे पाकिस्तान को मुहैया की। मियां मोहम्मद नवाज शरीफ ने बिजली से चलने वाले गरीब किसान के ट्यूबवेल को इंतहाई सस्ती बिजली मुहैया की। मियां मोहम्मद नवाज शरीफ ने इनकी लीडरशिप में अल्लाह ताला के फजलो करम से पंजाब में हमने ज़राअत की जाली अद्वियात का मुकम्मल तौर पर खात्मा कर दिया। जनाब स्पीकर, आज मैं ये ऐलान करना चाहता हूँ कि सब्सिडी खाद फैक्ट्रियों के बजाय बराह रास्त किसान को दी जाएगी। सोलर ट्यूबवेल प्रोग्राम का इजरा किया जाएगा जो कि छोटे किसान को मुहैया किया जाएगा और इंशाअल्लाह इसके बारे में तफसीली पैकेज सामने आएगा। और बीज माफिया को हमेशा के लिए ख़त्म कर दिया जाएगा और दुनिया से आला तरीन बीज मंगवा कर हम अपने किसानों को देंगे ताकि ज़रूरी पैदावार बढ़े और मुल्क आगे बढ़े। और ये बीज हम किसान को पहली मर्तबा मुफ्त मुहैया करने की कोशिश करेंगे और इंशाअल्लाह इसका इससे बेपनाह फ़ायदा होगा। और इसी तरह बीज माफिया, जिस तरह मैंने कहा, जाली खाद और ज़रूरी अद्वियात का सूबों के साथ मिलकर, चारों सूबों के साथ मिलकर हम इसका खात्मा करेंगे, क्योंकि वफाक और चारों इकाइयाँ मिलकर पाकिस्तान है। और हम सूबों के साथ मैं वादा करता हूँ कि आगे बढ़ के उनके साथ काम करूँगा और वहाँ पर उनकी रहनुमाई में हम मिलकर इस अजीम प्रोग्राम को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। और ज़राअत और लाइफ स्टॉक के शोबे में हम सनती फार्म्स SIFC के तहत उसको फ़रोग देंगे। जनाब स्पीकर, कोई मुल्क एक एफिशिएंट, एक पंक्चुअल, वक्त की पाबंद, साफ सुथरी पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट के बगैर नहीं चल सकता। मेरे ये जो दोस्त शोर मचा रहे हैं, ये भी जंगला बस का शोर बहुत मचाया करते थे और जंगला बस का शोर दिन रात मचाते थे और झूठ के तूफान खड़े कर दिए कि लाहौर में इनकी जुबानी जंगला बस 70 अरब रुपए में बना है। वो खुदा के फजल करम से 30 अरब में बना। मैं तफसील में नहीं जाना चाहता कि बीआरटी पेशावर का क्या हशर हुआ और क्या वहाँ पर करप्शन हुई। ये मेरा मौजू किसी और दिन के लिए है। आज मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि जिस तरह मियाँ नवाज शरीफ की क़यादत में हमने पंजाब में मेट्रो बस के जाल बिछाया, मैं तमाम सूबों के साथ मिलकर हम इंशाअल्लाह आम आदमी के लिए, डॉक्टर के लिए, इंजीनियर के लिए, मजदूर के लिए, तालिब इल्म के लिए, उस्ताद के लिए, सहाफ़ियों के लिए, वकला के लिए, डिश वॉशर्स के लिए, खाकरोब के लिए पूरे मुल्क में हम एफिशिएंट पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट का निज़ाम का जाल बिछाएंगे। और यही एक बड़ा राज है तरक्की याफ्ता मुल्कों का तरक्की करना, क्योंकि टाइम इज मनी और वक्त की कोई कीमत नहीं। जनाब स्पीकर, इसी तरह जिस तरह मोहम्मद नवाज शरीफ की क़यादत में हमने पंजाब भर में हस्पतालों का जाल बिछाया, मुफ्त अद्वियात दी, मेरी आपत्तियों के साथ हमारी भरपूर कोशिश होगी कि हर सूबे में, सूबा सिंध ने इसमें बड़ी तरक्की की है, कोई शक नहीं, बड़े बड़े आला अस्पताल बनाए हैं, कोई शक नहीं, लेकिन हम इसमें सूबों के साथ भी और ख़ास तौर पर वफाक में इंशाअल्लाह हम यहाँ पर जदीद अस्पताल और जदीद इलाज की सहूलतें मुहैया करेंगे। और जनाब स्पीकर, यहाँ पर मैं एक बड़ा ऐलान करना चाहता हूँ उनके लिए भी जो सुकून से मेरी बात सुन रहे हैं और उनके लिए भी जो शोर शराबा करके मेरी आवाज़ गुम करना चाहते हैं, उनका शोर गुम हो जाएगा, मेरी आवाज़ बुलंद होगी इंशाअल्लाह। जनाब स्पीकर, होनहार बच्चों और बच्चियों जो कि इंतहाई काबिल और हाई अचीवर्स हैं, हाई परफॉर्मर्स हैं पूरे पाकिस्तान में, उनको मगर उनके पास, उनके वालिदैन के पास रिज़्क़ हलाल कमाने के बावजूद वसाइल महदूद हैं। मैं यहाँ पर आज ऐलान करता हूँ कि उन तमाम पाकिस्तान के बच्चे और बच्चियों को बैरूनी दुनिया में जो आलमी मारूफ यूनिवर्सिटियाँ हैं, उनके वज़ाइफ वफाकी हुकूमत देगी, उनके अखराजात वफाकी हुकूमत बर्दाश्त करेगी, ताकि ये कौम के हज़ारों लाखों बच्चे और बच्चियाँ ये दुनिया में अपना नाम पैदा करें और पाकिस्तान को दुनिया में उसका सर बुलंद करें। जनाब स्पीकर, कुरान करीम का इरशाद है, अदल करो, यही तक़वे के बहुत ज़्यादा करीब है। और नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम का उनकी फरमान है कि बेशक अल्लाह ताला काजी के साथ, जब तक वो इंसाफ करे वो काजी के साथ है। निज़ाम अदल की मौजूदा शक्ल एक बहुत ज़्यादा तवील और ताख़ीर का सबब बन गई है। बदकिस्मती से बास जो दीवानी मुकदमे हैं, वहाँ पर लोग दीवाना हो जाते हैं, لیکن مقدمے کا فیصلہ نہیں ہوتا. وہ زندگی سے ہاتھ دھو بیٹھتے ہیں, مقدمے کا فیصلہ نہیں ہوتا. اس لیے سستا اور فوری انصاف, اس کے لیے ہم عدالت عظمیٰ اور یہ ایوان اس بارے میں مشورہ کر کے ایک ایسا نظام لے کر آئے جس سے لوگوں کو فوری اور سستا انصاف مل سکے. جناب اسپیکر, آج میں اس بات کا بھی اعلان کرنا چاہتا ہوں کہ جیلوں میں قید خواتین اور بچے جو کہ سنگین جرائم میں ملوث نہیں ہیں اور ان کی مدت سزا صرف 2 سال سے کم ہے, ہماری حکومت ان کو رہا کر کے تربیتی پروگرام کے ذریعے ایک ہنرمند شہری بنائے گی اور وہ پھر معاشرے کے عظیم معمار بنیں گے. جناب اسپیکر, ثانیہ 9 مئی اس کے زخم آج بھی پوری قوم کے جسم پر تازہ ہے اور مجرم ہر صورت میں قانون کا سامنا کریں گے اور انصاف اور قانون اپنا راستہ بنائے گا. اور جو لوگ, میں یہاں پر ان دوستوں کی خدمت میں بھی عرض کرتا ہوں, جو لوگ جو شامل جرم نہیں ہیں ان کو کوئی غزت نہیں پہنچے گی. میرا اور میری حکومت کا یہ وعدہ ہے کہ جو لوگ اس میں ملوث نہیں پائے گئے, جن کے خلاف کوئی ثبوت نہیں, وہ قابل جرم نہیں, مگر جنہوں نے 9 مئی کو قوم کے ساتھ غداری کی, جنہوں نے 9 مئی کو ان عظیم شہیدوں کی قبروں کی بے حرمتی کی, جنہوں نے 9 مئی کو ان شہیدوں کے ورثاء کو ان کے دلوں کو چھلنی کر دیا, وہ کئی رات ان کو نیند نہیں آئی کہ ہمارے والد نے, ہمارے بھائی نے, میرے خامد نے تو جان دے دی, اور یہ لوگ اپنی ذاتی انا کی خاطر انہوں نے اتنی ہماری بے حرمتی کی ہے کہ شاید دنیا کی تاریخ میں اس سے بدترین مثال نہیں ملتی. جناب اسپیکر, دہشت گردی کا خاتمہ نیشنل ایکشن پلان پر پوری طرح عمل درآمد ہوگا, اور میں سلام پیش کرتا ہوں اپنے قائد محمد نواز شریف کو, جنہوں نے فیصلہ کیا کہ ہم نے دہشت گردی کا خاتمہ کرنا ہے, اور وہ عظیم قربانیوں سے ماؤں نے, بیٹوں نے, بیٹیوں نے, طالب علموں نے, ڈاکٹروں نے, انجینئرز نے, افواج پاکستان کے افسروں نے, جوانوں نے, ان کے بچوں نے, پولیس کے افسروں نے, جوانوں نے, ان کے بچوں نے, ایک تاجر نے, ایک دکاندار نے, ایک خاک روب نے اس دہشت گردی میں اپنی جانوں کا نذرانہ پیش کیا, مگر پھر کس طرح ذاتی مقاصد کے لیے ان دہشت گردوں کو دوبارہ ان کو واپس لایا گیا اور بعض خونی دہشت گردوں کو جیلوں سے چھوڑا گیا. جناب اسپیکر, یہ ہے وہ وجہ کہ آج پاکستان میں دہشت گردی دوبارہ اونچ کے آئی ہے. یہ میرا اور میرے یہ قائدین کا فیصلہ ہے کہ ہم دہشت گردی کو دوبارہ مل کر اس کو جڑ سے اکھاڑیں گے, اور کبھی دوبارہ دہشت گردی پاکستان کے سرحدوں میں داخل نہیں ہو سکے گی. آپ مجھ سے اتفاق کرتے کہ نہیں کرتے ہیں؟ بالکل زور سے بتائیں, کرتے کہ نہیں کرتے؟ جناب اسپیکر, اقلیتوں کے حقوق یہ ہماری ذمہ داری بھی ہے اور پاسداری بھی ہے, اور یہ میں نہیں کہہ رہا, یہ میثاق مدینہ کی ایک درخشندہ اور تا قیامت ایک مثال ہے, جو نبی کریم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے مدینہ منورہ میں غیر مسلموں کے ساتھ معاہدہ کیا کہ اگر آپ ان شرائط پر چلیں گے تو آپ سکون کے ساتھ رہ سکتے ہیں، اور ہمارا سبز ہلالی جھنڈا اور آئین پاکستان ہماری اقلیتوں کو امن اور سکون کے ساتھ پاکستان میں رہنے کی اجازت دیتا ہے، اور ہم اس میں کسی طور پر بھی خلل نہیں آنے دیں گے۔ جناب اسپیکر، خواتین کو مساوی حقوق اگر ہم نے مہیا نہ کیے، ہماری آبادی کا 50% ہماری آبادی کا 50% حصہ وہ خواتین پر مشتمل ہے۔ اس شور شرابے میں بھی شاید خواتین کی آواز مردوں سے زیادہ ہے۔ جناب اسپیکر، میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ محترمہ فاطمہ جناح سے لے کر محترمہ بے نظیر شہید بھٹو، میری بیٹی مریم نواز یا ثریا انور ہو ایس او ایس کی، یا بلکیس عیدی ہو، یا ڈاکٹر رتفاؤ ہو، یا ثنا میر ہوں، ان کی لیڈرشپ کے بغیر ہمارا سفر ادھورا ہوگا۔ خواتین کو اس ترقی کے سفر میں ہمارے ساتھ قدم ملا کر چلنا ہوگا، چاہے وہ ٹیچرز ہوں، چاہے وہ نرسز ہوں، چاہے وہ ڈاکٹرز ہوں، چاہے وہ ایک کلرک ہو، یا وہ نڈر خاتون پولیس افسر شہر بانو جس نے قوم کی ایک بیٹی کو جان ہتھیلی پر رکھ کر اس کی جان بچائی۔ میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ خواتین کا ہراسمنٹ کا ماحول بالکل ناقابل قبول ہے، اور تمام شعبوں میں خواتین جہاں پر کام کرتی ہیں ان کو مردوں کے شانہ بشانہ تنخواہیں ملنی ہوں گی، اور تمام وہ حقوق جو مردوں کو ملتے ہیں خواتین کو بھی مراد ان کو مہیا کی جائیں گی۔ جناب اسپیکر، سرمایہ کاری، انویسٹمنٹ اور بزنس فرینڈلی پاکستان کی ایک اشد ضرورت ہے۔ ہمیں یہاں پر نئے کاروبار کے لیے ماحول مہیا کرنا اتنا آسان نہیں رہا۔ یہ فرسودہ نظام ہے، سینکڑوں فرسودہ قانون ہیں، ان کو میں اپنے ان زعماء کے ساتھ مشورے کے ساتھ بیٹھیں گے اور ان تمام قوانین کا یک جنبش خاتمہ کر دیں گے، جس سے کہ سرمایہ کاری میں رکاوٹ ہو، جس سے کہ سرمایہ کار پاکستان آنے سے ہچکچاتا ہو۔ اور میں یہ بھی سمجھتا ہوں جناب اسپیکر کہ ہمیں ٹیکس کے جو لیول ہے اس کو بے شک ہم کم کریں، کیونکہ جو ایک ایماندار ٹیکس پیئر ہے، جو ایک اچھا ٹیکس پیئر ہے، اس کو مزید ٹیکس کے بوجھ سے لادنا سراسر زیادتی ہے، اور جو مافیا اربوں اور کھربوں غبن کرتا ہے اس کو کوئی پوچھنے والا نہیں۔ یہ ہے وہ ایک بڑا کینسر جس کی میں نے بعض مثالیں ابھی دی ہیں، جس کی وجہ سے آج غریب غریب تر ہو گیا ہے اور امیر امیر تر ہو گیا ہے۔ لہٰذا ہمیں جو اچھے ٹیکس پیئر ہیں ان کو قوم کو ان کو اپنا ہیروز بنانا چاہیے، ان کو سلام پیش کرنی چاہیے، ان کا ہمیں احترام کرنا چاہیے، اور ان کے قوم کے عظیم معمار کا نام دینا چاہیے۔ اسی طریقے سے جناب اسپیکر، چاروں صوبوں میں صوبائی حکومتوں کے ساتھ مل کر ہم ایکسپورٹ زونز کا جال پھیلائیں گے تاکہ لاکھوں لوگوں کو روزگار مہیا ہو اور دنیا کو پتہ چلے کہ حضرت قائد اعظم کا پاکستان جن وجوہات کی بنا پر مارز وجود میں آیا تھا، آج 76 سال بعد اس کی طرف ہمارے لیڈران نے جو قدم اٹھائے اس میں مزید اضافہ کرنے کے لیے ہم دن رات ان کی معاونت لیں گے. میں اپنے لیڈر کی میں ان کی ایڈوائس لوں گا, اپنے دوسرے زعماء کی ایڈوائس لوں گا, اور پاکستان کے اندر زراعت اور صنعت کا جال پھیلا دیں گے. اور یہ ایکسپورٹ زونز کیا ہوں گے؟ پلگ اینڈ پلے, ون ونڈو, اس کو امنی جامہ پہنائیں گے. دہائیوں سے ون ونڈو کی بات ہو رہی ہے. ون ونڈو کیا, آدھی ونڈو بھی نہیں تھی. آج ہم ون ونڈو کو, جس کا ماڈل میرے علم میں ہے, چین میں ہے اور دوسرے ممالک میں ہے, اس کو ہم انشاءاللہ ہم عملی جامہ پہنائیں گے. جناب اسپیکر, ٹیکس ریفنڈ میں تاخیر ایک بہت بڑا ہرڈل ہے جو ہمارے ایکسپورٹرز ہیں یا دوسرے جن کا ٹیکس بھئی آواز نہیں آ رہی, ٹیکس ریفنڈ کا جن کا جائز حق ہوتا ہے, ان کو مہینوں نہیں, ان کو سالوں رلایا جاتا ہے, اور جیب گرم کیے بغیر ان کو ٹیکس ریفنڈ ملتا نہیں. میں یہاں پر جناب اسپیکر اپنے لیڈر, اپنے زعماء کی اجازت سے یہ اعلان کرتا ہوں کہ ایف بی آر کو جن کا ٹیکس ریفنڈ ڈیو ہے 10 دن کے اندر ان کو مہیا کیا جائے اور ان کو ٹیکس ریفنڈ ان کے گھروں میں پہنچایا جائے. اور اگر ایسا نہ ہوا تو پھر ایف بی آر کو میں مکمل طور پر جواب دہ بناؤں گا. جناب اسپیکر, اسمال اینڈ میڈیم انٹرپرائزز, یہ دنیا آپ سب جانتے ہیں کہ چھوٹے کاروبار, چاہے وہ دیہات میں ہوں چاہے وہ شہروں میں ہوں, یہاں پر اس معزز زبان میں بڑے معزز اراکین بیٹھے ہیں جن کا زراعت سے چولی دامن کا ساتھ ہے, جن کا کاروبار سے بہت شغف ہے. یہ مجھ سے بہتر جانتے ہیں کہ اگر دیہات میں ہم نے مائیگریشن کو روکنا ہے شہروں کی طرف, اگر دیہات کو ہم نے صاف ستھرا بنانا ہے, اگر دیہات کو ہم نے وہاں پر ترقی دلوانی ہے, تو وہاں پر کسان کے نوجوان بچوں اور بچیوں کو اسمال اینڈ میڈیم انٹرپرائزز کے لیے, شہروں اور قصبوں میں نوجوانوں کو کاروبار کرنے کے لیے, اسمال اینڈ میڈیم انٹرپرائزز یعنی چھوٹا کاروبار کرنے کے لیے, جہاں پر وہ 4-6 مزدور رکھیں, جہاں پر مشینیں لگائیں. دیہات میں جو فروٹ گل سڑ جاتا ہے, محترم زرداری صاحب مجھ سے بہتر جانتے ہیں کہ وہ اگر اس کو سٹور کر لیا جائے, اس کے بعد اس کو ایک چھوٹے کارخانے کے ذریعے وہاں پر جوس, کانسنٹریٹس, مارملیٹ بنا کر ہم بیچیں, تو ہماری معیشت آسمانوں سے باتیں کرنے لگے گی. لیکن اور اس کی مثالیں کون سی ہیں؟ اس کی مثال امریکہ ہے, جاپان ہے, ساؤتھ کوریا ہے, نیدرلینڈ ہے اور جرمنی ہے. یہ بڑی عظیم مثالیں ہیں جہاں پر 80% ٹویوٹا ہو, کرولا ہو, ان کی 80% پرزے سب کانٹریکٹنگ سے بنتے ہیں. میں یہاں پر جناب اسپیکر اعلان کر رہا ہوں کہ میں بینکوں کو سختی سے پابند کروں گا کہ وہ اپنے قرضے کا اتنا فیصد لازمی ان نوجوانوں دیہاتوں میں اور شہروں میں دیں گے جو اپنا کاروبار چلانے کی صلاحیت رکھتے ہیں. اور یہ کام یہ بھول جائیں کہ یہ کمرشل بینکس ہیں یا یہ گورنمنٹ بینک ہے, یہ ایک ہی پیرامیٹر ہوگا, ایک ہی یارڈسٹک ہوگی. اور جو بینک صرف ٹی بلز, گورنمنٹ ٹریجری بلز میں انویسٹ کر کے آرام سے سوتے ہیں, وہ گھر جا کے سوئیں. اگر قوم کی خدمت کرنی ہے تو ایس ایم ایز میں ان کو بڑا شیئر دینا پڑے گا. جناب اسپیکر, اور یہاں پر میں یہ گزارش کرنا چاہتا ہوں کہ سرمایہ کاری کے لیے اور خاص طور پر بیرونی سرمایہ کاری کے لیے پاکستان ایسا ملک ہے کہ لوگ یہاں پر آنکھیں بند کر کے چلے آئیں. بدقسمتی سے اس کا جواب مثبت نہیں ہے. جہاں پر میں نے ابھی فرسودہ قانونوں کو ختم کرنے کی بات کی ہے, میں یہاں پر یہ کہنا چاہتا ہوں کہ ہم تمام دوست ممالک کے لیے ویزا فری انٹری پاکستان میں کر دیں گے تاکہ وہ یہاں پر آئیں. ان کو ویزے کے لیے وہاں پر گھنٹوں نہیں مہینوں انتظار نہ کرنا پڑے اور وہ یہاں پر آئیں, اور یہ اس حکومت کی ذمہ داری ہوگی. جناب اسپیکر, ٹریڈ کوریڈورز ہم نے کھولنے ہیں. یہاں پر میرے دوست نوید قمر بیٹھے ہیں جو بڑے ایکسپیرئنس ہینڈ ہیں, بڑے اچھے مشورے دیتے ہیں, اور ٹریڈ کوریڈورز کو ہم نے اوپن کرنا ہے, ہم نے آگے بڑھانا ہے. اس میں فارم منسٹر بلاول بھٹو صاحب نے بڑی کاوشیں کی تھیں جن کی میں بڑی تحسین کرتا ہوں, اور میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ جناب اسپیکر ہمیں سی پیک کو جو نواز شریف کے دور میں وہ مارز وجود میں آیا, جناب اسپیکر وہ ہمیں سی پیک کو اور آگے بڑھانا ہے. چین ہمارا ٹائم ٹیسٹڈ دوست ہے, ایک درینہ دوست ہے, ایک قابل اعتماد دوست ہے, اور مجھے یقین ہے کہ ہم اس میں ضرور کامیاب ہوں گے. جناب اسپیکر, خارجہ پالیسی میں ہم کسی گریٹ گیم کے حصہ دار نہیں ہیں. ہم خارجہ پالیسی کا کارنر سٹون اپنے ان دوستوں میں اضافہ کریں گے اور مخالفوں میں کمی لے کے آئیں گے, اور باہمی تجارت اور معیشت کی بحالی اور فلاح بہبود کے لیے ہم اپنے خارجہ پالیسی کو اس پر استوار کریں گے. ٹیکنالوجی جہاں سے بھی ملے, چاہے وہ مشرق بعید ہو, افریقہ ہو, لاطینی امریکہ ہو, ہم مارکیٹیں تلاش کریں گے, اور اللہ تعالیٰ کا اگر فضل شامل حال رہا اور انشاءاللہ میاں محمد نواز شریف, پریزیڈنٹ زرداری اور بلاول بھٹو صاحب اور ڈاکٹر صدیقی اور علیم خان اور سردار بخشی کی مجھے آنت رہی تو انشاءاللہ اس مالک سے دعا ہے, میں نواز شریف سے بغیر اجازت لیے کہہ رہا ہوں کہ ہم اتنی محنت کریں کہ 2030 کو ہم ہدف بنا لیں G20 کی رکنیت کا. Difficult but not impossible. Nothing is impossible in this world. تو میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ ہم اس میں اگر کامیاب ہوں گے. جناب اسپیکر, امریکہ کے ساتھ ہمیں اپنے تاریخی تعلقات کو پہلے ریپیئر کرنا ہے اور پھر استوار کرنا ہے, اور پھر تجارتی, دفاعی اور معاشی اور سفارتی تعلقات کو بہتر لانا ہے. یہ میرے قائد کی, یہ میرے لیڈرز کی اور میری ذاتی یہ میری خواہش ہے. گرم پانی. یورپین یونین اور خلیجی تعاون کونسل کے ساتھ ہم رشتے مضبوط کریں گے. ہمسایہ ممالک کے ساتھ ہم اصولی اور برابری کی بنیاد پر ہم اپنے تعلقات کو قائم رکھیں گے. جناب اسپیکر, سعودی عربیہ ہمارا 76 سال سے نہیں سینکڑوں سال سے وہ پاکستان, جب پاکستان نہیں تھا اس کے ساتھ تاریخی برادرانہ محبت اور یگانگت کا تعلق ہے, اور سعودی عرب کے فرمانروا اور سعودی عرب کے ولی عہد, انہوں نے ہماری جو ان 16 مہینوں میں وزیر خارجہ کی محنت, ہم سب کی کوشش سے جو ہماری مدد کی ہے, ہم ان کے ہمیشہ شکر گزار رہیں گے. اور میں آپ کو بلا خوف تردید کہہ سکتا ہوں کہ سعودی عربیہ نے اچھے اور برے وقت میں پاکستان کا نہ بھی ساتھ چھوڑا اور نہ چھوڑے گا. جناب اسپیکر, UAE, ترکی اور قطر ہر مشکل وقت میں پاکستان کا انہوں نے ساتھ دیا, اور جب ہماری حکومت تھی تو UAE کے صدر میرے بھائی محمد بن زائد نے اپنے مرحوم والد کے قدم پر چلتے ہوئے پاکستان کی भरपूर आनत की और मदद की। तुर्की के सदर तैयब एर्दोआन पाकिस्तान के अवाम से वालिहाना मोहब्बत करते हैं और वो चाहते हैं कि पाकिस्तान तरक्की के रास्ते पर गामजन हो। और इसी तरह कतर हमारा एक बहुत बरादर मुल्क है जो हमेशा ख्वाहिश रखता है कि पाकिस्तान को तरक्की मिले और उसके लिए वो पूरी तरह कोशा हैं। इसी तरह कुवैत, बहरीन, अमान और ईरान के साथ हमारे दरीना ताल्लुकात हैं जिनको हम आगे लेकर जाएंगे। जनाब स्पीकर, इस शोर शराबे में भी मैं यहाँ पर ये बात डंके की चोट पर करना चाहता हूँ कि फ़लस्तीन, गज़ा और कश्मीर जहाँ पर आज कत्ल गारत का एक ऐसा बाजार गर्म है जो कि पूरी दुनिया में देखती आंख से और सुनते कानों ने पहले कभी नहीं देखा था। इतने दिलखराश वाक़यात सामने आए। एक सहाफ़ी कभी अपनी बीवी की तदफीन करता है, कोई अपने भाई की तदफीन करता है, कोई 4 साला बेटे की तदफीन करता है, कोई 2 दिन की बच्ची की तदफीन करता है और उसके बाद वो अपना मुकदमा अल्लाह पे छोड़ते हैं। इस वक्त जनाब स्पीकर, इसराइल की बदतरीन बमबारी, जुल्म व तशद्दुद की इंतहा कर दी गई है और दुनिया का कोई इदारा उनको इस बदतरीन जुल्म व सितम और कत्ल व गारत से रोक नहीं सका। ये एक मकामे इबरत भी है और मकामे अफसोस भी है और आलमी बरादरी महवे तमाशाई बनी हुई है और कश्मीर में बेगुनाह कश्मीरियों का दिन रात उनका खून बहाया जा रहा है और कश्मीर की वादी उनके खून से सुर्ख हो चुकी है और आलमी बरादरी इस पर उनके लब सिले हुए हैं। इनकी क्या वजूहात हैं हम सब जानते हैं। और इसके मुकाबले में जनाब स्पीकर, जब ईस्ट तैमूर की बात आती है तो मजहबी बुनियादों पर उसको इंडोनेशिया से अलहदा करके आज़ादी दिलवाई जाती है। जब जनाब स्पीकर सूडान की बात आती है तो सूडान को मजहबी बुनियादों पर बज़ोर बाजू अलहदा कर दिया जाता है और जनूबी सूडान एक नया मुल्क बनता है। जब शुमाली आयरलैंड की बात आती है तो एथनिक, रिलीजियस और दूसरे मामलात की बुनियाद पर वहाँ पर बड़ी ताकतें आती हैं और वहाँ पर अमन कायम करती हैं। जब बोस्निया की बारी आती है तो हज़ारों लोगों को शहीद किया जाता है। इज्तिमाई कब्रें खोदी, उसका नज़ारा दिलखराश पूरी दुनिया ने देखा और उसके बाद वहाँ पर खुदा खुदा करके अमन आया। मियाँ मोहम्मद नवाज शरीफ ने उन दिनों में बोस्निया का दौरा करके पूरी कौम का सर फख्र से बुलंद किया। मेरे मौजूद जमान की खिदमत में मैं अर्ज़ करना चाहता हूँ जनाब स्पीकर, आपकी खिदमत में मैं अर्ज़ करना चाहता हूँ और आपके तवज्जुह से पूरे पाकिस्तान की खिदमत में अर्ज़ करना चाहता हूँ कि आइए आज हम इकट्ठे हो जाएं, ये शोर शऊर में दब जाए, तहम्मुल और बर्दाश्त में दब जाए। आए हम आज एक सब यकजा दो कालिब हो जाएं और फ़लस्तीन और गज़ा की जो बदतरीन जो वहाँ पर जुल्म ढाए जा रहे हैं, कश्मीर में जो बदतरीन जुल्म ढाए जा रहे हैं, उनके ऊपर पाकिस्तान न सिर्फ अपना असूली मौक़िफ़ लेके आए बल्कि ये ऐवान आज एक करारदाद पास करे शदीद मज़म्मत की और कश्मीरियों और फ़लस्तीनियों की उनके हकूक़ की आज़ादी की। आज का ये ऐवान की ये कार्रवाई नामुकम्मल रहे।
Also talked about how the country needs consensus at the moment. how all the political parties, how all the parliamentarians need to sit together for the purpose of alleviating and strengthening democratic norms in the country. Shehbaz Sharif also thanked the coalition partners. He also thanked all the parliamentarians and for who expressed confidence in his
In him,
leadership.
exactly,
And
Rafi. And also, he paid glowing tribute to Mia Nawaz Sharif, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, Benazir Bhutto for their services to democracy in public. And also, he talked about the political leaders of PPP and PML-N being jailed in fabricated cases, but they never harmed Pakistan's interest. And he talked about the PTI leadership targeting Pakistan's armed forces, tried to sabotaging the IMF agreement. But at the same time, he said, we do not believe in politics of vengeance. And of course, they attacked the GHQ military installations on May 9th, and they hurt the feelings of heirs of the martyrs. But we are here to remember the sacrifices of the martyrs, that they laid down their lives for the motherland, and of course for us. And he also was talking about the challenges. He said 700